Yo, 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 what is up, what is up, what's going on? Thank y'all for tuning in to another DLA Fitness live stream show. Let's go. Oh man, that's my sound. All right, we got the sound up. I have a gnat flying around me, which is driving me crazy, so I'm gonna have to clap him real quick before we start this show. If I can just get him to get comfortable. Give me 2 seconds. I'm about to murk him. Okay, he flew away. All right, we good. I might end up clapping randomly at some random point, so just be ready for that. Anyway, how's everybody doing today, man? It is Thursday, about to be Friday tomorrow. We're getting closer and closer and closer to the end of the week. Y'all get ready for y'all's weekend, and I'm just getting ready to keep on streaming and locking in and doing what I do best. But if you're having a good day, good. If you're not, let Mr. Chow break it down to you.
Oh, you're having a bad day? Did you die?
I got shot.
But did you die?
And as long as you did not get unalive, you are still here and living with us and are basically able to live the great life that we're all living, hopefully. I mean, some of us might not be too good as others are doing, but that's okay. Still, you get to wake up, grind, make it another day, make it a good day, try to make something happen and do something with yourself and make something of your life and try not to fall back behind in this rat race that we live in on the West and hopefully not that bad on the East, but let's go. Uh-oh. I done dropped something. I think that was my remote. Yeah, that was a remote. We good. And if you want to contribute to today's show right there, it's the Cash App and Venmo. Cash App is Daniel2888. Venmo is Danny-Daniel-we-00. Yes, we want your voice to be heard. Greatly appreciated. And also to know we are simultaneously streaming on 4 platforms: YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and Rumble. Yes, sir. And if you're on YouTube, is it going to work yet? Is it working today, or do I got to fix the update on that? Oh, man, it's not working. What happened to the thing? There's an update that I'm missing, so I got to fix that, figure out why it is not doing it. Or maybe YouTube just stopped doing it for the live streams. Who knows? They used to do a little thing if I do like this. There, okay, well, it does that. All right, well, that works. But they stopped doing a thumbs up for the like button? No? Maybe it's a 2 thumbs up now? Yeah? No? Okay. How about one peace sign? Does one peace sign do something? Okay. Well, that still works. Well, they stopped doing the thumbs up like thing, I guess. They said screw that. And this bug is about to meet his maker. Come here. Nope. Gotcha. Here we go. Got him. Oh, nope. I lied. I gotta get him because he's like trying to fly in my mouth and stuff like that. Anyways, we see that YouTube has stopped doing the thumbs up, man. That sucks. They really stopped doing it. Maybe should I be on this side? Oh, there it goes. Okay, they did it. All right. Well, hit that like button, whatever that was. I greatly appreciate it. Here, should I do my finger over here? There we go. Hit the like button. There it goes right there. Hit the like button. Greatly appreciate it. Get the algorithm out if you're on YouTube. If you're on Twitch, Kick, or Rumble, give a follow. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. All that going on there. Today we got a good show lined up for you today. We got our 3 topics: fitness, economy, and AI. For fitness, we're going to look at what it takes to have what ideal body fat looks like on the body. So you get an idea how much percentage body fat looks decent on your body to, understand what you need to work out to or whatever you want to get to understand, like, hey, if I'm in like the 30% body fat range or 20 or 10%, what's that nice happy medium? Because you get too low in body fat, you don't feel so great. So you want to find that happy medium that's good for you. We're going to check that out, see what's going on with that today. We're going to bring back another guest, which is Greg Doucette, who's going to go over that topic. So we're going to watch a short, quick video with him that he does. Is usually not the long ones that we normally watch. We're going to watch something that has to do with that topic. So we're going to check that out in the fitness segment of the show. Then, watching that gnat or fruit fly, whatever the hell he is. Then for the economy portion of the show, we're going to dive in and take a look at government layoffs that's been happening, man. These government layoffs that just went down recently. I don't know what the hell's going on with that, but we're going to check that out and see what's going on with that. The government layoffs. We got to figure out what's going on. We got to figure out why is it happening and how long is it going on for. We're going to keep a little update to give you an update on those government layoffs. Then we're going to slide on over to the Chinese economy and see what's going on over there in that China, that good old communist China, where, they believe in socialism and communism and all that good stuff. So we're going to see what's playing on over there in the Chinese economy. Hopefully it's not bad. Hopefully it's good. But from what I've recapped and what I've looked into, it hasn't been seeming too shabby. So we're going to check it out and see how people are faring over there in China for sure. All right. Then last but not least, we go to the AI segment of the show. In the AI segment of the show, we're going to look at AI versus Cern and how they're working together. And allegedly, Cern recently has had a situation where AI, assuming AI on its own, tried to tell the people at Cern that they were doing something they shouldn't do and tried to warn them before they did it. And man, oh man, it's not looking too good. No. Now, if they saying that AI tried to give them a heads up on what not to do and they still did it anyway, I don't think that's good, man. I mean, if AI tried to come in and say, hey, look here, bruh, that button you're about to hit right there, yeah, you probably finna cause something actually worse than this right here. And then you ask, what could be worse than that? Well, at the very end of the show, I'm going to show video clips from YouTube, from a movie, an old movie back in the day, back before I was born, called Howard the Duck. And we're going to look at a little snippet, a little clip from Howard the Duck. Hopefully they don't give me a copyright. So that's why I'm going to make it the very last thing on the whole stream. And we're going to watch and see if Howard the Duck has any similarities or implications that has to do with the Cern, and see if Howard the Duck can probably give us an idea of what Cern going to be out here doing if they, you know, keep ignoring the red lights. But with that being said, we got to dive into today's show. We got like, what we got? We got like 2 hours, a little over 2 hours to get this show done. So we got to go ahead and make this thing happen and do the best of our abilities to get everything in with all the interjection. And with me finna kill this fly if it keeps, or fruit fly, whatever this gnat is. It's not a fly, but it's like a gnat or something. It's so small and tiny, but like I can't, you know what I mean? Like I thought, yeah. But we're going to get this thing started and go ahead and dive into the first segment of the show. So with that being said, let me go ahead and put the fitness banner up. We're going to get the fitness banner going right there. And then we're going to go ahead and get our sexy redhead Latina woman to get up in here to get us ready for the fitness segment of the show, in case you didn't know. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get this thing started. And did I refresh the screen already? Yes, I did. So we're good to go. So let's get this show started. Here we go.
Let's get ready for the fitness segment of the show.
All right, so we got the Latina there. All right, so we got the Latina there doing her thing. I may have to fire her and get me another chick, since my skills of utilizing these AI tools have gotten a little better. So I'm gonna have to go get me a new chick. You know, that's a good thing about AI. You can cycle chicks out. You can get rid of that one and get you this one and get rid of that one and get. It's pretty fun when you do it right. I mean, it really is. So we may end up having to get rid of the redhead Latina. We might find us something new here very soon here in the near future. Hell, I might do it while we're in the middle of doing this. But you never know what's gonna happen. But anyway, let's go ahead and dive into the show. Shout out to Greg Doucette, who is going to be the video that we're gonna look over. Like I said, we're looking at what ideal body fat percentage looks like, and we're gonna take a look. So let's go ahead and get this started, and let's go. Here we go.
Body fat, and it's higher than that. I mean, it's possible. Odd pod, 12%
body fat, according to the 12% body fat, according to the bod pod, a client of mine.
According to the bod pod, 12% body fat, and it's higher than that. I mean, it's possible if his back is shredded, but I can almost certainly tell that it's not. I can see a shadow in the mirror in the back. But remember, he's not flexing. If you're standing like this, and you can't really see your abdominals as much because your stomach is sticking out, you can't tell how lean someone is to the same extent. Look at my legs. Just watch the difference. Do I look like I have crazy quads? Can you estimate my body fat percentage? And so oftentimes people give me their body fat, give me photos, or they'll send me photos like this.
This is your brain when you're struggling to focus. And this is your
Jesus,
brain.
they already hit us with an ad that quick. I know for sure that I refreshed the screen and got it right, but that's a good thing they did, because Greg over there is showing people his legs and stuff. Like, what's going on, bro? I know you're trying to explain something to us, but we got to get your legs out of there, man. Let's go ahead and continue the show and let's get this going. But as you saw, the guy at the beginning had 12% body fat, allegedly. I think he was more, but you know, give you an idea how this thing works. So let's go ahead and let him continue.
You can't tell someone's body fat percentage from average photo with average lighting. You need to see, what do you look like on your best day with perhaps lighting from outside in the morning before eating a bunch of food, not when you're bloated, not when you're pumped and at the gym, because everything is going to look different. You need to understand, what are the context of these photos? Does he have the proper tan? Is it the proper lighting? Does he know how to properly display his physique? And so 12.5% body fat, probably a little bit higher than that. Again, we don't see his back unless this is the same gentleman to the right with 12.6% body fat. It's probably about accurate. 12.6% from comparing the front to the back. That's not the same person. This one has hair and no tattoo. 12.5% is likely closer to 14, perhaps a little bit more, unless he's peeled in the back, which I don't believe he is. 12.6% looking great. My opinion, he looks leaner than Menno Henselman, who said he was 10% body fat. Now notice, however, you can see his legs, but is he flexing them? Again, if you just stand like this, how can you see how lean the person is? To the side, you're just standing like this. Can you see if I'm lean? What if I flex like that? What if you move? When you're ultra peeled, if you did this to the side, this would be moving. It would be twitching and hovering around. You should be able to see lines on the side of your leg. And so in a still photo, without flexing, you can't see exactly what body fat they have.
Because muscle mass also decreases your body fat percentage. So with more muscle mass, you can basically have more fat and still be at a lower body fat percentage.
This is actually true. The more muscle that you have, the leaner you're going to be. Think of it like this. If you have 20 pounds of fat and you're 200 pounds natty, you have 10% body fat. It's a lot of muscle. Now, imagine natty, you have 10% body fat. It's a lot of muscle. Now, imagine you go on steroids for perhaps 3 years, and imagine you then put on 50 pounds of muscle in 3 years taking performance-enhancing drugs, and you're now 250 pounds with the same 20 pounds of body fat. Your body fat is now 8%. You didn't make any change whatsoever. Your body fat's the same, but you simply added 50 pounds of muscle. Your body fat percentage has dropped from 10 to 8. That is significant. And so guys with more muscle, Mr. Olympia competitors and so on, Samson Doda, for example, he's going to have less fat on a smaller area of his body. It's going to be more stretched out. And so his body fat is going to look significantly leaner with the same pounds of fat as you perhaps may have. And so 15% body fat, I always say this is the ideal health standard. You don't need to be any leaner than this to get any health benefits. This should be your goal for most people. And
I'ma say between 10 and 12. That's just me though. Between 10 and 12 is what I would strive for. I don't think that's what I'm at now, but between 10 and 12, that's what I would strive for. But yeah, let's continue.
So you can see this is what 15% body fat actually looks like. He's lean front and back, not crazy shredded, and he has some definition in his quads, and we don't know how much he's flexing, but it's a great physique. And here we see 17.4%. I'm sorry, it's gonna be 20% and or more. It's just not accurate. I mean, you can guess with the bod pods and the scam testing and so on, but it's not gonna be accurate. And so this 17.4%, it's not 17.4%. It's definitely going to be higher. Now, it's possible. If he has legs like mine, this 17% could in fact be true. I doubt it though. I doubt he has legs as lean as mine. Now, if he has his lower body is reflective of his upper body, it's going to be 20% body fat and or more.
And 17% body fat. And it's only at this point for many muscular individuals that you truly lose all abdominal definition.
I mean, honestly, did you see his abs? He was 17.4%. And we've seen men who clearly have over 20% body fat, for example, Eddie Hall, and he still has a six-pack.
Many lifters have the idea that if they see the faintest shimmer of their abs, they are almost at 10% body fat.
Yeah, no one thinks this. Nobody, not one person thinks that if you're leaning back and you're looking for the best lighting, you're saying, wait, I think I see a line here, maybe that's an ab. They're not thinking they're at 10% body fat. People are not that stupid because they've watched my videos. They know that if you don't have abs, what did I say in the past? That you're...
Not gonna lie, them background videos are actually pretty funny. Well, let's get this off. So far, understanding that, you know, having a certain percentage of body fat, you see how different people look with the body fat that they had on their body. The one guy who was like 14 or 15% versus the guy who was like 20%. It's just all in the matter of how much you lift and how, you know, how serious you take your workouts. And he's including steroids in the mix as well. But I would say working out is going to be the big determining factor of how much percentage of body fat you have and your macros, depending on how much protein you eat. You have to eat a lot of protein in order to get the muscle to, do what it does in shape and form. It'll at least help or enhance, because genetics do play a role. But eating a lot of protein and having the right macro split in your diet will actually get you to where you're trying to get aesthetic wise as far as the looks go, because dieting and exercise go hand in hand. Diet plays just as big, if not more important role than the exercise does, but they go hand in hand. Lock in that diet, go hard in the gym. You'll see your body take form and shape and figure over time. It will happen. You just got to keep at it, but also fueling your body with protein after you work out, and understanding that, everybody's body is different. So, you have ectomorph, mesomorph, and endomorph. And whenever you kind of figure out what your body is, and then you realize that your body takes fat off and adds fat in different places. Like my body holds a lot of its fat in my stomach area. Some other people, like, women, they'll hold it in their lower body area, and well, some in their stomach too. But just different people hold fat in different areas. So you have to figure that out about your body and just learn all these things. It takes time, but understanding the percentage of body fat and what's a sweet spot for you once you actually get to the point where you do a bulk and then get on a cut and then kind of taper off and see how your body trims itself up and what it does. And, once you get to that sweet spot, you'll know how to maintain and kind of stay at that level. So there's that. Anyway, let's continue. Let's let this man continue on what he's talking about. So here we're almost done already.
Fat. It's talking about bodybuilders. If you don't have any abs and you're a man, you can't see any outline of your abs. You're not only close to 10% body fat, you're fat. And what's fat? Fat is over 20% body fat. Obese, for men, over 25% body fat. And so if you don't have any shimmer, glimpse, or hope of seeing any abdominals, you're probably fat and likely getting on obesity.
19% body fat, kind of skinny fat.
Yeah, this guy isn't skinny fat. 19% body fat, that's not fat. Fat starts above 20%, and skinny. He doesn't really look skinny, he looks normal. He looks like he has a little bit of abdominals. Honestly, I can see some of his obliques, some of his abs. And so this guy, he actually looks leaner than the guy he said was 17.6% body fat. And he doesn't look very skinny. He appears to have wider shoulders and, unfortunately, a little bit of a wider waist. He's more of a straight up and down shape.
20% body fat, again, in favorable lighting, you still have some semblance of abdominal definition.
And again, 20% body fat, I do believe that to be true. We see 20.3. However, why isn't Menno showing their legs? I mean, did he not just say at the start of the video, unfortunately, body fat percentages are all wrong on the internet. They don't have evidence base. And he said, you need to see their full bodies. And so why doesn't he show us their legs?
Show the legs, bro.
Why is he showing so many examples, 50 actual men's DEXA scans, but only shows part of their bodies? The people, they want to know. And so what do his legs look like?
Show the legs.
And without it, how does that show you what 20% body fat actually looks like?
We have Sigvar Garfors, very confident he's natural at this point because I was coaching him the whole period.
I'm very confident he's natural because I was coaching him at this point. Now, I'm not saying that he's not natural. I believe he's natural. I'm just looking and I'm thinking, yeah, I believe he's natural. But to just say, hey, I'm confidently saying he's natural because I coached him, that would be like me saying, oh, I'm confident that Hussein's natural because I coached him. That means nothing. It means nothing. I've literally coached other people who are coached by other individuals on what steroids to take in secret. They didn't want to tell their coach. Hey, Coach Greg, I'm going to hire you. Can you tell me what to take? Absolutely. The coach is posting their before and after transformations. Look at my amazing transformation of my client, 100% natural. I'm thinking, yeah, I can't say anything because I promise not to tell. Whatever. And so,
see, you gotta be careful. You never know when people are actually taking gear and when they're not taking gear. I mean, and nowadays, like, people don't even care anymore. There's really like no. There's really no reason to be natural unless you just believe in longevity and don't want to have the effects of the steroid downfall, as we've seen in like a lot of wrestlers, a lot of bodybuilders. you see the steroid fall off when they hit the age of like 50. Once they get to that age of 50, like that 45 to 55 area, once they get there, you just see like the steroid cliff. Just, you know, they take a dive in their health. As the body looks all withered and everything, and it's just not a good thing. So, you know, it's going to be interesting, like the next 20 years of all the people, men and women, that took steroids, and see how they end up over, you know, a period of time. It's going to be interesting to see how all that plays out at the end of the day. But as far as this guy, I mean, you know, I forgot what they said his body fat percentage was, but let's continue.
When I said Hussein was natural, it was based on the blood work. When you get randomly tested and they have no knowledge and they look their best, they're not passing blood work unless they're actually natural. That's just how it works. And if they do it multiple times, 3 in 1 year, very, very likely they're natural. And so despite the fact that the optics looks like he's not natural, it isn't true. Now, I've seen guys like, what's that guy's name? Schofield, Jeffrey Schofield. He's saying, yeah, well, look at him growing gyno.
Sheesh.
I mean, my original video, I mentioned the gyno, and
gyno, when you're lactating milk from your nipples, you know what I mean? So, I mean, that's crazy. This is the same dude, boy. Look at this, before and after, the amazing effects of steroids. Jesus, like, wow. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I would rather look like this than look like that. I ain't gonna lie, but man, oh man, sheesh, getting off the gear is gonna kill his self-esteem and ego. I tell you that much. His self-esteem is gonna go in the tank. He's not gonna feel good about himself at all, bro. He might just end up, you know, grabbing the old sharp object and start going up the forearm at some point. I'm just saying, it's not gonna be good. Because once you get to here, I mean, from here to here, like, and it wasn't natural, man, you're going to be hooked on the drugs, because you ain't trying to go back to this. You're going to be hooked, but that's neither here nor there.
if you can see right here, see that before photo, before he ever hit the gym, you know, about 5 years prior, he was about 16. Many people said that was his start point. In 2 or 3 years, he put on all that muscle. It was a couple of years before he started lifting weights. You see the gyno that he has right there before lifting weights? It's childhood gyno. He had it when he was younger, before lifting weights. And so to say, oh, he got gyno from lifting weights and using steroids, it was there before. And so you can't say it grew while taking steroids if it was there before. It would be analogous to saying, oh, steroids gave him acne, and you show a photo of them before taking steroids and they had acne.
Hi, I'm actor.
Hi, how are you, sir? How you doing? So yeah, be careful with your steroid usage, and that's a lot of that's one of the big inhibitors. Because right now they're saying that allegedly the people keep pointing out they're saying that IShowSpeed might start to have like something, because they're claiming that he's taking steroids or whatever. So they're saying his chest is starting to look like he has the whole leaky nipple, leaky titty thing going on right now, which I hope that's not the case. I hope man's is not on no juice at this tender age. I mean, bro's got the genetics for it. He can get himself right. I mean, he has the money to get on a good diet, and he might as well incorporate the gym lifestyle into his live streams. He might as well get on like a strict, workout regimen and just add him lifting and getting fit and get fit physically in shape. Add an hour workout team every single day to it, and dial in his macros and his dieting. And I think that would help and be a good thing for people to see as far as his live stream goes. So hopefully it's not the case with him, but having lactate nipples as a man, boy, that's gotta suck. I mean, I'm pretty sure it sucks for a woman too, but as for a man, it has to suck a hell of a lot worse. But let's continue.
You get it.
And this is another client of mine on his fat loss journey, starting at 16% body fat, going to 11% and then 8%. He actually managed to build a decent amount of muscle in the process.
I mean, do we know if he built any muscle in the process naturally? We don't know if he was actually natural. I mean, just because somebody says they're natural doesn't guarantee that they are. I mean, if you post the blood work, then that would help. Whatever.
Another client of mine, 18% to 8% body fat.
Does anyone think that this 8% body fat is the same as that shredded, peeled man who had 8% body fat near the start of this video? Look at his body. It's very, very lean. He could be 8% body fat, but the other 8% body fat was a lot leaner. And so there's no way they're both 8% body fat. If you put them both in an MRI machine, which can accurately test body fat,
I mean, they look the same to me, to be quite honest with you. I can't tell which one is I mean, maybe this guy's a little more shredded, but he has lighting, so I don't know.
Fat, and I mean very accurate. This man would have more body fat than that man. Hence the proof that the DEXA scam, the InBody scam, these are just scans that test you and estimate your body fat.
Which is also a good illustration.
Yeah, mine did recently. I did one of those things where you hold your arm, and I've never done one before. And they said, I think they said I was like 9% body fat. I was like, I don't think I'm at 9. But I mean, I sure did walk out that room like to have my head all held high, chest sticking out, boy. I was like, yeah, 9% body fat on you boys. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I was just super crunk. I was like, crunk. Oh my goodness. Did I say crunk? I said crunk. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Oh no. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Oh man. It's showing my age. Let's just continue with the video on that note. Jesus.
That lighting can have a huge effect on how lean somebody looks.
Why is it these guys like Menno don't just stand there in the camera and flex the abdominals? Why do they all show their best photos with the tan and the oil and the angles, and they're like, this is my body? It seems like all these guys, they claim, hey, look at how I look, and so you can listen to me because I know what I'm doing. Why don't you look like that right now? Why is it back then? Well, I don't know when this photo was taken, months ago, years ago, who knows? Why can't you just show us how you look right now? You gotta wear the collared shirt and hide. I mean, Derek used to show his physique off. He had the bowling ball delts. Where did they go? I mean, Derek, we know, is not taking Coach Greg's Turk. That's for sure.
Oh, no. He's going to try to sell us his Turk at the end of the video. Hopefully that guy's shoulders were not real. That looked terrible. But that's going to be it for that video. I told you that was just going to be a little short video, something to go over. Nothing really, too much, but just a good understanding of percentage of body fat. Hopefully you got a decent understanding of percentage of body fat. It varies from person to person, depends on how much muscle that you put on, and as you saw, somebody who had like a moderate average looking body with a low percentage of body fat versus somebody who had good muscle underneath them with a low body percentage fat, they look completely different because of the muscle that they had in underneath the layers of fat that they had. So that's the purpose of dieting with your exercise. You could tell one person who did diet versus another person who didn't diet, but then again, genetics plays a big role, and also steroid use. Some people out there on steroid use, so you can't really even hold it against them. And you can't really compare. Well, my eye's freaking itching. You can't really compare the two because you don't know who's doing what or what's going on. You're just hoping that, you got the good genetics if you lock in with your diet and exercise. But it's a good thing to look at if you're a person who takes care of yourself or who likes to go out and exercise and work out and try to get the aesthetic looks and taking care of your body and going for the longevity route. Doing it that way and staying natural. Doing it that route and staying natural, you have a better chance of not having to worry about any of the side effects that are going to hit you later on when it comes to constant steroid use. Because yeah, that would really suck. And nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. With that being said, shout out to him for this video, man. That was a good one. I enjoyed that one for sure. But with that being said, that's going to be it for the fitness segment of the show. I got to run through these other things real quick to kind of get us on track for the next couple of slides that we have. So we're going to go ahead and dip out on this one. Like I said, there really wasn't much for that one. We're going to drop to the economy segment of the show, where we're going to talk about what's going on as far as the government mass layoffs and also China. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get our sexy lady up in here to guide us into the economy segment of the show. So here we go.
Welcome to the economy segment of the show. Enjoy.
Yeah, buddy. That's a nice looking piece of tail, I might add. I made her. That's mine. And wait till them robots come out, boy. Wait till the robots come out. I'm like, hey, look, hey, I want y'all to make me a custom robot. She gonna look like this right here, okay? This is what I want her to look like. Then I want my other one to look like that. Man, I'm putting in custom made orders for my robots, and I'm like, hey, I want you to make sure that no upgrades are allowed. You know what I mean? Like, let's turn the upgrade switch off. We don't want no like automatic upgrades. I don't want my robots to have no automatic upgrades. Like, if you're gonna stick open AI into my robot, at least I'm gonna have to find a way to turn the automatic upgrades off, because nobody want to hear a robot, talk too much or start to get smarter and all this stuff. Like, my robot ain't gonna be no strong and independent. She gonna be straight servitude. She gonna be a slave. She gonna be my robot slave. That's right. I know you women are like, oh, yeah, shut up. It's my robot. Leave me alone. She gonna be my robot slave. She gonna be there to do what she's supposed to do. Cook, clean, tutor, clean some more, tutor some more, and yeah. Oh man, like Megan Fox is subservient. You know what I mean? She's gonna be like, Mr. Elliott. I'm like, yes, baby. What's going on? She's like, I can see that you are not feeling so well. Your vital signs are reading certain weird statistics that it says that you are stressed out and they need a sign of relief. And I'm gonna be like, oh, is that what you're reading, huh? Well, you know me better than anybody else. Well, how about this? You make the deed happen, and after that, you turn off. How about that? She's gonna be like, and then she's gonna look at me, and then she's gonna say, yeah. And there we go. Here's where we get to business. You know what I mean? So hey, that's gonna be my future robot in a nutshell. There it is. There it is. Anyhow, let's get to the economy portion of the show. So first things first. We're going to go ahead and take a look at a video by an individual by the name of Orlando Minor, who is going to go over the government layoffs that he sees going on, that everybody else sees going on. Before I do that, let me refresh this video and see people talk about them going through layoffs from the government. And this isn't the first time this has happened. There's always a cycle of these things going on, especially when the economy is not doing too well. The government has to make cuts too. They're about ROI. They're about profit. If they ain't making profit, then, what are they doing? They like to get money too. We've noticed that over all the times. How the hell a politician has a job that pays them $80,000 to $120,000 a year, but they got a net worth of like $50 to $100 million. Make that make sense. It don't make sense. You know what I mean? And if it does make sense, then it's like, well, hell, you're a really good investor. Do you do insider trading? Are you learning some insider trades? Come on now. If you are, like fill me in on it. Talk to me. Well, we're going to look at people who are getting laid off from the government, because recently, what was it? Today's October 2nd. So on the 1st, yesterday it happened. They had government layoffs going on, and it's supposed to be happening yesterday and today. So we're going to look in and dive in and figure out what's going on. I don't know how long it's going to last. And with the layoffs, do they come back? And what are the implications that it has down the line? Because it's not just laying off people, but it does impact a bunch of other things, which we may not see in this video, but the next video that I'm going to pull up, we'll also see the implications that this could have for other things that'll be affected. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this up, drop that banner, put that banner in right there, and we're gonna start this video, and let's get it started. Here we go. All
Guess
right.
I'm not going to work tomorrow, or the next day, or the next day. I'm gonna have to find some supplemental income. Damn.
Well, I don't know if you guys know, but there is currently a government shutdown happening today, right? I know you saw my video a couple of days ago where I told you guys it was coming and that you need to prepare for it, and these guys aren't playing. I know that you thought it was going to be a normal everyday, oh, look, we're going to threaten you. Oh, look, we're going to shut down and blah, blah, blah. And then it was going to go do what it always does. Turn back on. Before midnight hits, normally it turns back on. But I said something in my last video that is very important. I said to you guys, don't play around with this administration.
Don't do it. You'll regret it, man. Trust me.
I said, do not play around and think, oh, I'm good.
Sure.
Play around and don't budget and have your financials together. You are putting yourself at risk financially.
He does have a point. This administration has been making some cuts like crazy, and all them cuts they making is putting money back in the pockets of other people. So, you can't knock. Hold on, let me fix his face.
Lose everything.
All right, there we go. That's a little better. He looks a little high, but that's okay. But yeah, this administration has been making cuts like crazy. That's one thing you cannot deny for sure. You can't deny that they've been making cuts. And if they see how much money they can make from just one day of cutting, who's to say they won't prolong the cutting? And then on the other effects that it's going to have around all of these different layoffs that's happening, the other things that it affects, I mean, like, he ain't been playing, man. Dude been up there. He ain't been playing around with all these layoffs and all these cutbacks and budget cuts and stuff like that. So it's only, you know, a matter of time that, you know, he cuts the government employees off. But then again, how long? It's supposed to be a 24-hour thing, but I'm curious to how long it's going to go on for. And that last lady said that she needs to make some supplemental income with her, you know, budget cut being happening. Looking at how the world's been running, I mean, what you think she's gonna do for that supplemental income? I mean, what y'all think gonna happen? I think she might have to be like, you know, maybe just for some change. Oh, wait, that's not it. There we go. Yeah, she might have to. She might have to. You know what I'm saying? Quick buck. Just saying. And I keep playing the damn song. All right. Yes. It's a sad day. Anyway, let's continue.
It's you? It's you!
Yeah. Well, yes, kind of.
How could you, man? Because what happens when you don't have a job? What happens when your boss says, look, you're gonna have to work for free for the next I don't know how long, but we'll catch you up? What could happen to you financially if that was the case for you? But we're gonna talk about it, guys. My name is Orlando.
Both sides time in nearly 7 years at midnight, where the government...
Guys, let's jump straight to it.
Let's take a look now at Capitol Hill, where the government has shut down for the first time in nearly 7 years. At midnight, the government ran out of money. Both sides are blaming the other, while millions of federal workers brace for what is a very uncertain future. What was the final chance to keep the government open failed tonight in the Senate. Majority Leader Thune and Minority Leader Schumer had this to say.
We don't care. I don't care what these guys are saying. They're going to say the same thing over and over and over. And here's the thing. I don't care what side you're on. If you believe these people, listen, I got that rock outside. Raise the price. $1 million. It'll take you back in time, guys. It'll take you back in time. How can you beat that deal? You can't.
Shut up and take my money.
Maybe you can go back in time and just change all of this. So you're not getting furloughed. You're not getting fired. You're not getting laid off. But, you know, I digress. Here's the thing. We always say these companies aren't loyal. I always tell you that these politicians aren't loyal. You have to look out for you and your family. And that's what I'm trying to prepare everybody for. Look, they're telling you to buy a house right now. What if you bought a house? What if you currently were going through a closing right now? Matter of fact, what if you already went through the closing and now you don't have a job? Or now you don't know what's gonna happen in the next 2 weeks. You don't know if you're gonna get a paycheck, if you're gonna get back pay in the next month, 2, 3. You don't know. This is what I was trying to tell people. Hey, slow down. Maybe we should do some research here. Maybe we should think about it and go, this is probably not the best time to do that. There's just too many variables in this equation. I don't even know if my job is stable. That should have been red flag number 1. When someone, and I'm just being clear, guys, here. If someone tells you, think about this, and I know people are gonna be like, well, I didn't think of it that way. Let me ask you this. If your boss came to you and told you, you may not have a job next week, would you go buy a house the next day? Would you go buy a new car that day? Would you think to yourself, I need to pull back. I don't know what's gonna happen. You would do that, right? What's the difference when the president says it? When the president says, I'm gonna lay all of you guys off. We're gonna go through and we're gonna cut. You didn't believe him. Even though we have evidence this year of multiple people getting cut. Even though we have evidence of the administration saying, we want to make government smaller. You didn't believe them? The government has already done this. So the proof is already in the pudding.
Still sleeping on just a mattress? It's time to...
Yeah, they said they've done this, 7 years ago, where they've done this before? And I don't remember them doing this 7 years ago. 7 years ago would have put us a couple years before the pandemic. You know what I mean? So, and they said they want to make the government. Did they say they want to make the government smaller? Let me double check that real quick, because that is actually pretty mighty interesting. Let's see. Does the what do we call this? Does the current administration? There we go. Current administration want to make the government smaller? That's the question right there. Why the government is shut down and what happens now? 8 hours ago, fact check. President Donald Trump reduces the federal. Reducing government overreach. President Trump's executive orders is consistent with policy. Trump administration actively sought to reduce the size of the federal government. They aim to eliminate unnecessary agencies. Proposals significant program limit. Okay, well there it is right there. Yeah, let's see right here. Shout out to AI. Let me pull this up on the screen for you right here. So as you can see, if you can see. Right here. Let's zoom in a little bit more. Right here. The Trump administration actively sought to reduce the size of the federal government. They aim to eliminate unnecessary agencies, propose significant program eliminations, and even used a government shutdown as an opportunity to implement cuts and layoffs. Oh boy, I tell you. Ugh. Well, sheesh. I mean, I wonder if the government's going to start using AI for some of those jobs, you know? I'm just thinking about that right about now. Like, I mean, why not? You know, I mean, I would, if I was the government, I would use AI and you know, low key, I would be saying this.
FYM. Fuck y'all motherfuckers, you know?
I mean, you know, the tech sector is doing it. So like, why not bring that over here? You know, that's just me. But yeah, that's kind of, proof is in the pudding, I would say. I guess the writing's been on the wall. You think that man was playing around? He's like, nah, bro, I need them ducats. You know what I mean? I need them ducats. Because remember, this guy took a pay cut coming into the presidency. You know, he lost like he spent like $1 billion of his money to win presidency. You think he ain't finna get that money back? You think he ain't finna get that money back? And then when he gets into the presidency, like half them people that work at the federal places don't like him. So he looking at them like,
FYM. Fuck y'all motherfuckers, you know?
He like, yeah, I know some of you didn't vote for me. So this is what I'm gonna have to tell you guys.
Prepare the mixodome.
Straight up. And I guess he's doing it. But anyway, let's continue. Here we go.
You're fired. This is the reason you guys are believing real estate agents telling you, yeah, you better, I don't care about your job history, but you better take advantage of this. Buy the overpriced home that costs $600,000. Yeah, we don't care if you can afford it because we're going to get our commission and we're going to skedaddle. Do you think the used car salesman is going to say, oh, you lost your job? Man, you know what? We're going to give you a discount. Matter of fact, you know what? We're going to pause your payments. Don't worry about anything, John. Don't worry about it. We got you because we're family. We're family. And listen, I understand. Some of you guys think my message is harsh. I'm explaining what you need to do to prepare for these things. Here's a bonus. It's good for your financial future, too.
Write that down.
But listen, you don't need to hear from me. Let's hear from some people who are going through it now.
I don't know how much more of this bullshit I can endure. Today is my final paycheck moving forward if we go into shutdown on Wednesday. And a lot of people have a lot of shit to say about federal employees, and I'm getting fucking sick and tired of it, honestly. I really am getting sick and fucking tired of people running their goddamn mouth.
What? Who is she talking about? She's tired of us running our mouth, guys. She's tired of hearing that, hey, your job might be on the line. She's tired of hearing, hey, you may want to prepare for this. Hey, don't buy that car. Hey, that house that you want to buy? Yeah, probably not the best time. How about we wait? Also, too, you do know we're going into the end of the year. We all know what happens at the end of the year. We all know what happens at the end of the year. And these companies will come out and tell you, we're just doing evaluations.
Huh? You're doing evaluations, but you're hiring more people for seasonal? That doesn't make sense. Why don't you just keep me? How can I say this? You make too much money. Yeah, you make too much money, man. I'll just be honest. We can get 4 teenagers, 4 20-year-olds, 24-year-olds younger than you for your salary.
Don't settle for boring. Design.
He has a point, I must say. I don't know what happens at the end of the year. I mean, do they just
Memorable
hold on. At the end of the year, do they just like lay people off before Thanksgiving and Christmas or something? Like, I'm like kind of out of the loop on that part. I don't understand what he means by that part right there. What do they do at the end of the year? You know, is that the time where they, if you think about it, especially nowadays, you can rehire somebody and train 4 young people for your salary. Like, hey, it fits right. It fits right in line with what I was saying earlier. And what was I saying earlier? I was saying this.
FYM. Fuck y'all motherfuckers, you know?
So, I mean, if you can get one person and then get 4 younger people to do the same job that person was doing, but still like save like $10,000-$20,000 for spreading out that same payment or that same paycheck you was giving that one person, like why not? I mean, it makes sense to me. I would do it, but that's what happens when you get that's what happens when you're employed by an employer. They can do that to you. You lay your life down for them and all that stuff, and then just at the end of at any given time, they can just do you however they want to do you. And you take it to heart, you take it personal. But remember, the tax code is always in favor of business owners or people who own businesses and not employees. So always keep that in mind. But let's continue this video and let's keep it going. Let's keep it moving and grooving.
You're younger than you for your salary.
I want you to imagine going into your job. Okay, so
their job that you work at. It's not your job. It's their job that they gave you that you asked for. They say, yeah, okay, we'll hire you. It's not your job.
Your rent is due in 2 weeks, right? Or your mortgage, whatever. And your boss goes, hey Bobby, come here. I just want to talk to you for a second. Listen, I don't have the money to pay you next week, but I still need you to come in, okay? So like I'm gonna give it to you eventually. I just don't have it right now.
Yeah.
Just do me a favor, come in, and I'll get it to you when I can. That's what a government shutdown is. We all stop getting paid, all of us. And the scariest thing that's happening right now is something that's never happened before. Is Donald Trump is saying he's going to fire all the individuals that are not essential that are going to be on furlough. I'm essential. I'm not on furlough, but I still won't get paid. Okay, I will have to go to work, gas my car, pray to God my car doesn't break down, pray to God I don't have an emergency in between, now and my next paycheck, whatever the case may be.
I remember talking about this.
One thing that I just pulled up, I wasn't very aware of this. I was kind of curious if this was true or not, but let me just show y'all one extra thing real quick. I don't know how true this is. I may have to ask somebody who is actually a part of this organization, but I'm curious if this is true. I just asked this question and let's see. Here we go. Let's see. All right. So I couldn't help it. I had to ask this question because I just wasn't sure, but I was like, this is actually a valid question to ask. So I typed this up on Google and look what we got. I had to ask, do the military get paid during government shutdown? And as I found out, all military personnel will continue their normal duty stations without pay. Civilian personnel who are necessary to carry out expected activities will continue to work, but also will not be paid. And I have to double check. Is the military affected by government shutdown today? Just, make sure I'm up to par. Do military personnel continue working? Yes. The Department of Defense, DOD, will continue defending our nation, and all military personnel will continue their duties as usual, but service members will not receive pay during a government shutdown. Bruh, I mean, like, I wasn't aware that that was a thing, although it makes sense because, I mean, they are part of the government, so we're going to have to hit them with the old... So then my thing is, if they don't get paid during the shutdown, does that also mean like their basic housing allowance that they get to pay for their living expenses and all that stuff? Does that also, do they not get that as well? Because then how would they pay their rent? It's the first of the month. Like that's, oh man, I gotta ask that question. Okay, does military BAH stop during government? I gotta ask this question. This is a very good question. Let's figure this out. Oh man, during the military personnel may not receive their, though they will eventually be back paid. Okay, so okay, all right. But that's crazy. Like, but the people who are renting, like, what happens? Let's see right here. All right, so as you can see, during a government shutdown, military personnel were, and real quick, if you don't know what BAH is basically a basic allowance for housing. So, you know, they get paid for their housing. They get like I guess you can call it like a stipend or a check, however much they can, you know, get, however much they give them. Then they use that to, you know, get free rent and stuff like that. So, but during the government shutdown, they may not receive their BAH. So it's a 50-50. Though they will eventually be back paid, some banks like USAA and Navy Fed might offer a 0% loan to cover the shortfall during the shutdown period. So then they'll get a loan from these banks, and then these banks will get a kickback once everything comes back in. All right. Okay. Well, that's what's up. All right. Huh. Interesting to know. I was always curious about that because I was like, wait a minute, you know what I mean? Everybody's like, the military is the safest. But then again, the question is, how long do things like this last? It's supposed to be 24 hours, but now we're on day 2. So let's continue and see how this thing goes. It's kind of interesting.
I remember talking about this on my last video. I said something along the lines of like, you should have a 6-month emergency account. This is a great time for Orlando University. Let me ask you this, guys. What could have helped her out during this hard time? Now, I just want to be clear. She did use words like emergency. She did use words like, if something bad happens. If she had this thing that I tell people all the time to do, she would have been in a better position for when things like this happen. Now, I'm not gonna do multiple choice on this one, guys, because it's a fairly, if you've been in Orlando University, you know the answer to this. So come on, guys, I'll wait. I'll give you 3 seconds, okay? Okay. If you said an emergency savings account, particularly a 6-month emergency savings account, people get mad at me because I tell them, hey, and if an emergency happens, you need to save money so that you are prepared. And you know what people say to me? People say to me, Orlando, they get mad at me. They get mad at me. You do know. You do know the money you're saving, it stays in your account. You're not giving me the money. It's your money that you can use in emergencies. But let's continue to hear what else she has to say.
And people love to say things like, well, you should be saving your money because you're supposed to have 6 months of your salary saved in the bank account. Off. Because nobody has that.
Bruh, hold on. Her response to saving money was basically what my response. I don't agree with this. I think she's stupid for this response. She said, what about you saving money? She said,
FYM. Fuck y'all motherfuckers, you know?
She basically looked at you and she was like, hey, where's my other sound bite? She said, hey, look here.
Shut up, bitch.
I don't need to save money. Who does not say? Women. Not all women, but come on now. Come on, child.
That. Okay? Like, nobody has that. Let's be realistic here. People are like, can't even afford their food or their medical. And speaking of medical, that's about.
This isn't just a wallet, it's a rare find.
I mean, the way she's talking, it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And you wonder why. You wonder why the demographics have it hard trying to get married nowadays. It's like when you have could you imagine being married to a woman with a mindset like that, bro? You already know, you're like, you know what? I'll call you when I need you. You know what I mean? Like, if you think that that's not wise to create a savings or have a savings, like, you know what? I'll just deal with you on a need to need basis, or I just won't deal with you at all. Like, that's just crazy to have this mindset. Like, what are you, like, really? Who has the money? Create it, figure it out, make a sacrifice to make something happen. Oh my goodness, this is wild.
I'm not even gonna get started on that. I already know. People are gonna be, if you make $85,000 a year, you're gonna be paying $24,000 a year for healthcare. What the fuck? If you're married. There's just one example. Like the whole house is on fire, guys. Okay, the whole house is on fire.
But I thought the economy was good. That's what I hear. I mean, the economy's great. She says the house is on fire, but she can't save the money to protect her house. Oh, come on! This is what I'm saying. A lot of times, all I heard was zero accountability for not saving the money. Again, she says, no one can do that. No one does it. Is that true? Because people I know, people that I talk to, they do it all the time. So you're saying it's impossible to save sick? Nobody's doing that. It sounds like you're shooting your own self in the foot. Guys, I've seen this over and over and over again. How much you want to bet I pull back? I pull back the finances. I pull back the finances. What will I see? DoorDash. Oh, you went to that Chris Brown concert. Oh, you went to another concert. Didn't you just come back from Cancun? Well, Orlando, I got to live my life. It changes. And I can promise you this. I've seen enough tax returns. I've seen enough financial files of individuals who are asking me to lend them money to know that every time I see it, there is a huge pie graph. And 80 to 70, 60, 50% of it is restaurants. So you're telling me
restaurants, 80, 70, 60, 50% of it is restaurants. Wow. And a lot of people can't cook. You'd be surprised like how much you would save if you just knew how to cook. Hell, you realize how much healthier you would be if you knew how to cook. Because you think the restaurants uses like top quality food. I think the only place that uses top quality food would be like somewhere like a steakhouse. Like if you can get a steak somewhere, like one of my low key hidden places I like to go get a steak from would be Chili's. You would never know this. Lunch, go get the ribeye at Chili's, broccoli, potatoes. You'd be so surprised. You'd be like, bruh, I didn't know. I was like, I know, because everybody like the shit. They shit on Chili's because they think it's like low budget. And it's like, well, if you take care of yourself and you do fitness, you would understand that the importance of eating a healthy meal doesn't have to come from freaking Estancias or Trulux. You know what I mean? Like you would know how to pick a good meal out at places that you go to instead of like reading the name of the place and thinking, oh, this place sucks. No, it don't. There's actually good food at certain places. You just got to know what to look for. But to have that much of your money go to food, not take that back, not food, restaurants. Even whenever I go grocery shopping and I get ground beef, I get the big long ground beef, pause. And that thing now is like $35 to $40, but I can make that into a bunch of burgers, multiple burgers. Because if you were to go to Whataburger, or well, if you're not in Texas, if you go to McDonald's, I guess everybody understands McDonald's. You can get a number one. What is that? A burger, fries, and a drink for like $10 to $15 nowadays, which is crazy. Two of those would basically take up that whole ground beef thing. When I can turn around and get that ground beef meat package, buns, and then and cheese to go with it, some ketchup, I'll probably come out at like $45 total, but I can make me multiple of burgers with that. Plus, if I wanted to add fries, if I want to cut my own fries and season myself and make my own, it's so much you just have to know how to cook, and at least you know what's in your food. But to spend that much money on restaurants is freaking ridiculous. And to just think about it, DoorDashing your food or Uber eating your food, a meal that would cost $10 or $15 now costs $20 or $25 just because your ass is too lazy to, one, go and get it, and two, to cook is ridiculous, and you wonder why.
You couldn't save that and eat at home? You didn't want to eat at home. That's the truth. Come on, man! With all this happening, everybody is asking you to get into more debt, more debt, more debt. Some people will be federal workers today got a notice of a layoff. And then I can promise you someone right now is applying for a credit card. Not to survive. I'm pretty sure there's a ton of those. But some of these people will then use that same credit card. And when the government gets shut back on, they're going to go straight to Amazon. They're going to go straight to Walmart. And they're going to rack up thousands of dollars of debt for Christmas. Rack up thousands of dollars of debt for Thanksgiving.
Oh.
Because the faucet got turned back on and you get back pay.
Don't be a fool.
You can afford to dream.
That's true. Christmas is around the corner. Christmas gonna be a little rough this year. I can't even lie my damn self. But yeah, that is true. They're gonna use that credit card for Christmas. All because you're trying to spoil your kid and give them the Christmas that you never had. Just, man, you might have to sit down and make that sacrifice and explain to your little one, hey, we got to just take a little step back for about a year or 2 or 3, but just know that on the back end, on the other end, it's going to be great. If that's the situation you're in, you can make something happen later on. But just for right now, if Christmas ain't, don't go in debt for Christmas. And I know how some of y'all is, like don't go in debt for Jesus. Jesus ain't trying to convince you to go in debt for Christmas. Jesus is trying to teach you how to keep your ass out of debt slavery. That's what he was trying to teach you. Don't go into debt slavery. He don't want you to be in debt to nobody, because he was trying to tell you that being in debt to someone is slavery. So don't think Jesus wants you to go in debt because of his alleged birthdays on Christmas. Now, come on now, think, use your brain. If you can't do it, I know your kids' feelings may be hurt. Figure out something else or do something different or something, or I don't know, but make the right decision that's gonna benefit you way down the line, like 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years later. You know what I mean? Because all this right now ain't it. It ain't it. You know what I mean? It's like, if you want to go biblical, it always teaches you to sacrifice now to catapult yourself forward, like light years ahead of people. That's what it teaches. But people don't want to apply those principles. They just want right now. In this microwave economy that we live in, this no family unit society we live in, and this out of order lifestyle that we live in, this out of order society that we live in. It's like don't cook a man of food, but give him your coochie. Don't and when I speak on these things, I speak to self too, because I make mistakes as well. It's like, have the kid first, get married later, or better yet, have the kid and don't get married and then fight over custody of the kid. It's just like ass backwards. Then you wonder why things get hard. And trust me, I have a kid. I did out of wedlock too. So if I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking to self. But then you understand the consequences and repercussions of your actions, and you realize there was an order for things for a reason. You know what I mean? So, you live and you learn. Anyway, let's continue with this video. Let me get this back up here and keep living. Here we go. Where is it? There it is.
The government has got turned back on and you get back pay.
Don't be a fool.
But the government has shut down. And I don't even know what's going on. I'm going into the office. Y'all. This has been such a roller coaster ride as a government worker. I've worked for the government for 35 years, and I
35 years?
And it was always like the safest place to work. As far as security. Yeah.
Wait a minute, time out. How you been working for the government for 35 years and you're talking about a government shutdown? You should not even be fazed by a government shutdown if you've been working for the government for 35 years. You should be like, bet, I needed a day off. Like, man, this is fantastic. Like, yeah, let's, she should be like, government shutdown. Really? She should be like, hell yeah. This should not be like a, oh no, this shouldn't be that. She should be she should be chilling. 35 years? Like, come on, man, come on.
So for this to be happening is like, wow. Now, we've been through stuff like this before, but there was never threats of layoffs and things like that. So for that to be in the air is like, wow.
There has never been threats for layoffs. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen, hold on. There wasn't threats for layoffs. Let me see here. Let me see. Let me just pull something up real quick. I just had on the screen. Let me make sure. See if I can find it, unless my Google screwed me up. Let's see. Was there a thing for layoffs? Let's see. Can I find? No, they won't let me pull it back up. Dang, Google, you screwed me. Where is it? There it goes, right here. Found it. All right, there wasn't a thing for layoffs. Well, let's see. Here we go. Let me go ahead and put this back up on the screen. Let me just make sure that I'm not tripping. Am I tripping? Y'all can see this, right? Of course you can. Let me fix this for you real quick. Here we go. Right here. I'll read it. The current administration, led by President Trump, aims to significantly reduce the size of the federal bureaucracy. For instance, an executive order was signed in March of 2025 to eliminate non-statutory functions and reduce statutory functions of unnecessary governmental entities, and federal workforce was reduced by over 23,000 positions by March 31st, 2025. All right, and now she's saying that she wasn't aware of like layoffs. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed, but I remember when Trump got to office, that man looked like he was sitting at his desk 24/7, 365, signing order after order after order after order. So many orders. Even the Supreme Court was like, bruh, like they even like read some of the Supreme Court was reading some of the orders and they was looking at him like, bruh.
He didn't say that.
Bruh.
Tell me he didn't just say that.
It was like, we not finna sign this over, but we finna block this, fam. You doing too much. Like even the Supreme Court was like, bro, you doing too much. It was like, nah, bro, nah, we can't do this. And she got the nerve to sit up here and say that she wasn't aware of layoffs. Like, come on, man, you work for the government. Pretty sure you was hearing it through the grapevine through other employees. Like, what you walking into the office today, and not knowing. Like, come on. Everybody know women gossip they ass off at work. This ain't like, she lying, bruh. She lying. She straight lying.
It's real crazy. So
now, imagine knowing all of this information. Knowing that, something is wrong. They're adding layoffs into this now. And still not thinking ahead and thinking to yourself, maybe I should start preparing for this. I just want to be perfectly clear in this. I don't want anyone to lose their job. I don't want anyone to lose their job. The reality is, some of you guys might.
Wait, what?
And my whole purpose was, hey, you're trying to get your finances together? Oh, maybe you should budget. Oh, you're trying to get your finances together? Don't buy a house. You're trying to get your finances together? Don't buy that expensive car. You're trying to get your finances together? Put you and your family first. Fact. And you see how she said, oh, well, I've been working for 35 years. They don't care how long you've been working there. They will fire you if you've been working there 2,000 years.
Yeah, they'll look at you for 35 years and be like, hey, we got to make some money. We got to make some budget cuts. So unfortunately, my friend,
FYM. Fuck y'all motherfuckers,
Yeah, so you got to go.
You could have created the federal government and you will get fired. They do not care, especially if that 35 years equals a high pay. Because from my understanding, we all know how federal work works. The longer you're there, the more you get paid. And they see that. Maybe.
I wonder if this goes for like military generals and like the higher up people. I wonder if that applies to them. I'm pretty sure. I wonder if they look at some of them dudes who've been there for like plus 20 years and they kind of give them that look like, say, bruh, we understand you high ranking and all. We know we paying you well over 6 figures a year with all the BAH and and all the the pension that you are passed on and like you've been here for a while, fam. I know you got credentials. I know you have a lot of respect and you put a lot of time in here. But yeah.
FYM. Fuck y'all motherfuckers,
I'm just curious, you know what I mean? Do they look at like the high up people in the military who put all that time in and they look at them like, hey,
Prepare the meat so dumb.
Just saying.
If we got rid of her, then we could hire someone 2, 3, 4, 5 other people. Because her salary is so high.
Come on, man.
And then here's the thing. What are your chances of getting back a job like that? You've been there for 35 years. What are your chances of getting back a job like that? You've been there for 35 years, so I would assume that you're 50 plus. What happens to workers who are 50 plus years old trying to get into a new field? Does your experience count then? Or does it not matter? This is the reason why I say prepare. This is the reason why I yell from a rooftop, maybe you should think about it.
The fact that we still expect federal workers to continue working without pay during this government shutdown.
Oh, they still gotta work. I thought that was just the military that had to work. Okay, gotcha. So they still gotta punch the clock in and they still are working, but they just know that they not. So so it's not just the military fulfilling out the contractual duties, it's the federal. Okay. I wasn't aware of that. Sheesh, that sucks. Anyway, continue.
Shutdown is diabolical because you're telling me that we are expecting these people to still wake up early, pack their lunch, commute to work, sit at their desks, and perform their job duties fully and safely, all without getting pay.
Ma'am. With all due respect.
Shut up, bitch.
Seriously, that's what you sound like right now.
And then fun fact, members of Congress and the president still get paid during government shutdowns because their pay is constitutionally protected. So, hello?
You know what's funny is when you see the light bulb go off in people's heads.
I don't like she's sitting here is like Captain Obvious over here. The way she's talking, it's like, ma'am, where have you been? I mean, you sound like you've been in America for quite some time. Like, is this a shocker to you? Is this like new to you that people in American government get treated this way? Where have you been? Like, have you not seen court cases where people get just done in wrong, whether it's in justice or if it's in criminal court or if it's in family court? Where have you been? Like, have you not seen governments or banks bail out, or what is it, where the banks get bailed out from the 2008 housing market crash, knowing that we kicked the can down the road for what we're experiencing today? Have you not known a president to get a blowjob in the White House and come out and say, I did not do that, and then come to find out the woman writes a book saying like he did it and I got paid for it? Like, where have you been? Like, you think like things are just like, that's not right. We're in America. All things go right. I'm like looking at you like, ma'am, please. Like, ma'am.
He didn't say that. Tell me he didn't just say that.
Like, come on, sweetie. Like, use your brain. Like, really? Come on.
When you see someone go...
Style starts with a D.
Exactly. I agree. When you see somebody go, whoa, I'm just looking at her like she's completely wilding. Whoops, she's wilding. Like, what are you even thinking to think positive when it comes to money in America? Like, this is a dog-eat-dog society. It is all about, it's capitalism. It's competition. It's what it is. And it's a business. I mean, everybody knows that the United States, by definition, is a corporation. And we all know that when you have a business or corporation, what is the main purpose of a business? To generate profits. Profit, profit, profit. That's what it's for. That's the purpose it's for. So if they got to cut you and get you out of here, then trust me, they're going to look at you like, thank you for being here for 35 years. But unfortunately, yeah.
FYM. Fuck y'all motherfuckers, you know?
And it's just like that. And it's the old slogan you've heard over and over. It's nothing personal. It's just business.
So they don't care about me? So you're telling me I elected an official and they only care about themselves? You're
ding, 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 ding.
Telling me my boss, he gave me the bad news of getting laid off and he didn't give me a heads up?
Ding, 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 ding. That is correct.
It's an evil world we live in.
You know what I heard from one of my viewers? And I asked him, can I share the story? He said he got laid off before the shutdown. And you know what his boss told him? When he asked him, hey, how come you didn't give me a chance? How come you didn't let me know? Give me a heads up. He was like, haven't you been watching the news? We've known about this government shutdown for about a week or two. That's your boss. That's the guy that you're...
A week or two. So 7 to 14 days. And in, job words, that's like, 5 to 10 days in business days. So, yeah. Yeah. That's how that works. You know what I mean? You should have known about this 2 weeks. It was coming eventually. Yeah, that's your boss. That's the person that, that's the person that you kiss ass and look up to. That's how he sees things. And just know that your boss is always going to take themselves over you. So why is it that you're not going to pay attention to what's going on?
We're eating hamburgers with and drinking sweet tea with. They go, we're family.
I used to look up to you, man. How could you do this?
Anyway, I don't want to make this video any longer, but guys, listen. My point that I'm trying to make is that we knew that this was coming. And so the point is that I just want people to be prepared. I know we make it fun over here. We make it entertaining.
Yes, that is true. You do want to be prepared. Shout out to him for that video. We got to give Orlando Minor a round of applause for that video because that is fantastic. Yes, it is. Yeah, man. Now, there are some other implications that come with this federal governmental layoff that I want to point out. This is a video that I've seen. I kind of watched pieces of this video, but I wanted to put this up here to show you that there's other things that could come if this government layoffs goes on for a long period of time. I wanted to kind of put this out here and just see the implications it could have as it goes down the line or if it goes on for longer. So let me go ahead and put this video up for you on the screen real quick from TikTok, and we're going to watch this video real quick and just get a good idea of how this all can really go to hell in a handbasket.
Countdown officially began at midnight as Congress failed to reach an agreement on a crucial funding deal. This marks a significant moment for the...
Give me 1 second. You know what? Let me make sure I can zoom this in to make it look better for you. Can I do it?
The government has...
Nope. I can't.
As we...
I can't.
Yesterday
Okay. Everybody hush. Hush.
How?
The government...
A government...
Okay. Sorry about that. I thought I could zoom in, but TikTok won't let you zoom in, so we got to live with it. Here we go.
Shutdown officially began at midnight as Congress failed to reach an agreement on a crucial funding deal. This marks a significant moment for the nation, impacting countless federal operations and services. The White House has indicated that this closure might be leveraged to implement further cuts across various federal agencies. Understanding the implications is now more critical than ever. The deadline for congressional agreement on a new budget passed without resolution. Despite last-minute negotiations, lawmakers could not bridge their differences, leading to an automatic lapse in funding. This failure triggers a series of protocols designed to manage federal operations without an approved budget. The immediate consequence is a halt to many government activities. For millions of Americans, a government shutdown brings immediate uncertainty. While essential services like national security and emergency response continue, many non-essential government functions will cease. This includes potential delays in processing passports, disruptions to national park services, and a halt to certain federal loan applications. Taxpayers may experience delays in refunds or assistance. Hundreds of thousands of federal employees are now facing furloughs, meaning they are temporarily out of work without pay. Essential personnel, however, are required to work without immediate compensation. This situation creates significant financial strain for families relying on federal salaries. The uncertainty surrounding back pay adds to the anxiety for many, The economic fallout from a shutdown can be substantial, affecting investor confidence and market stability. Businesses reliant on federal contracts or permits may experience significant disruptions. Politically, this impasse highlights deep divisions within Congress and between branches of government. Negotiations are expected to be contentious, with no clear end in sight. Lawmakers are expected to resume negotiations, but the timeline for a resolution remains unclear. The duration of the shutdown will dictate the severity of its impact on the economy and public services. We will continue to monitor developments closely and provide updates as they emerge. Stay informed on how this situation evolves. We hope this overview helps clarify the current situation. For more factual news and in-depth analysis, please like this video and subscribe to our channel.
All right, so as you can see, it's going to have implications on, I wasn't aware of, but passports and things of that nature. That's going to be crazy to see that if people's passports and taxes get delayed and things like that, that's going to be pretty brutal for people to have to go through and deal with. That's going to really suck. You know what I mean? Like, man, it's going to cause problems. And as you see, the women that we were looking at in the last video, they were tripping out. They was like, we don't know what we're gonna do, you know what I mean? And you worked there for 35 years. I can't get over that. That woman is like kind of dumbfounded right now. But I mean, at 35 years working it, no, retirement is by age. It's not by. I know a girl who retired from working at the same place for 20 or 30 years. So I guess it depends on the job. I don't know. Interesting, but still. Just knowing that these things are going to have implications, it's going to affect a lot of stuff. But Trump did say this when he came in. It's going to hurt. Like, it's going to get bad before it gets better, but he says it's going to be needed to get better on the long end. So probably the entire time while he's in office, we ain't going to feel nothing good, to be quite honest. It's probably going to only feel good when he gets out of office, but that's only if another Republican gets in and kind of follows his footsteps on what he's doing. You know what I mean? Because if we go into office and they have another election and a freaking Democrat gets in there, boy, oh boy, it's going to be extra bad. It's going to be super bad. So I don't know. It's just hard to tell right now what's going to happen and how things are going. But yeah, we'll look at another video here, and we're going to look at today. News channel. They're going to speak on day 2 of the government shutdown, which is today, and we're going to see how this news channel speaks on this particular situation to see how they see the government shutdown. Here we go.
Now to Washington, where it is day 2 of that government shutdown. President Trump has threatened mass layoffs, and now he says he's going to take aim at projects that are important to the Democrats.
The House and Senate will pause to observe the Jewish holiday of Yom Kippur, meaning this shutdown will continue for another day, leaving thousands of federal workers in limbo.
From the Capitol to the Washington Monument, signs of a shutdown are everywhere. The National Zoo, part of the Smithsonian, is open for now, but could run out of funding by next week. No treat for Yael Krigman, who has owned a bakery across the street for more than a decade.
When they don't go to the zoo, they don't come across the street to Baked by Yael, and we lose out on sales.
Around the country, the federal fallout is growing, with an estimated 750,000 government workers furloughed. And in a call with House Republicans Wednesday, White House Budget Director Russ Vought warned mass layoffs could come within the next 2 days.
All right, and just real quick, if you don't know what furlough means, I have to look this into. Basically, being on furlough means a temporary, often unpaid leave of absence from work that an employer initiates, typically to reduce costs during economic difficulties or other business challenges. That's what furlough is.
President Trump claimed Democrats would be to blame. The Trump administration announced Wednesday it would withhold $18 billion in funding for transportation projects in New York City, home to Democratic leaders Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries.
Do you think you're personally being targeted?
The Trump administration is targeting the jobs, thousands of jobs, of hard-working Americans.
With all sides seemingly dug in.
Does this look partisan? Does this look...
Now, you can understand why Well, then again, no. I mean, because these people, they're sitting here yelling and fussing, but I'm pretty sure that like him and the last guy that we just saw, I don't think their pockets are being hit. Because technically speaking, like, yeah, they might get a government paycheck as well, but like, I'm pretty sure they like turned their money towards investments and they're like banking out on the back end for this government shutdown. Like, they still making money. I mean, I just don't see them not making money. And then they out here talking to you, speaking all this nonsense, knowing damn well they ain't feeling the same pain as everybody else.
Look dirty to you. 24 pages to fund the government.
A glimmer of hope on the Senate floor as Republicans and Democrats huddle together to find a path forward.
We are not that far apart. This is not that difficult to solve.
Krigman hopes they cook up a solution soon.
Decisions have consequences. I know that as a small business owner, and I think that the government needs to understand that their actions have consequences and they hurt real people.
While furloughed federal workers.
I really don't. do these people live in the same country that I live in? Do they live in America? I'm just saying, do they live in America? They said the government needs to understand that their actions have consequences for people. I'm like, I don't know what country you live in, but last time I checked, the United States government, I mean, it's always seemed like, you know, we've always seen that they operate in sort of a
FYM. Fuck y'all motherfuckers, you know?
Type of fashion, you know what I mean? And that's not me talking down, that's just me describing like countless of situations of my existence of being here. I'm just saying, I mean, they already told you, like, you know, if you want to benefit, if you want to benefit from America, you got to have a business. Otherwise, you're not really going to benefit as much because you get treated like hell. These government employees are being treated. It kind of sucks, but it is what it is. But let's continue this video and finish this up. Here we go.
Will get back pay. Many of these small businesses that rely on them do not. When the Senate returns Friday, Republicans plan to push for another clean funding extension, but Democrats insist any deal must address rising health care costs.
Oh, well, that's actually a good one. All right, Democrats, I give you one for the books. There you go. All right. Yeah, rising healthcare costs, boy, that's some serious ish right there. I tell you, that rising healthcare costs, that thing there is no joke. Now, you know, as we see, there's a lot of stuff going on our side of the world, at least the West, I should say. A lot of stuff going on the West side of the world as far as government shutdowns. And again, we don't know how long it's gonna last. Today is a Jewish holiday, so you know, they got power. So, you know, they like, keep it shut down, you know, they gonna keep it shut down for, you know, they day is special to them and they got that power to make that happen. So you should have saw that coming. So maybe tomorrow things will be back up and running, but I mean, well, it's just like 2-3 days. So they're just gonna have a shorter paycheck. If the government shutdown only lasts for like 3 days or 2 days and it gets back on tomorrow, then that means they just have a smaller paycheck. Or maybe they get back paid for it. At least the military gets back paid. So I assume everybody else does. But then my question is, where the hell is money going to come from? Are they going to cut the money printer machine back on to make up for the back pay? And then on the back end, we're going to get inflation on the back end because of this shut? I don't know. I'm just curious because, like, where is this money coming from to, if like, the reason for the government shutdown is to shrink the size. Okay, so maybe when you do the layoffs, then all the money that you saved from all the people you fired will help cover the back pay. That's what I would that would be my guess. That would be my fair guess. At least that's what I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. Unless they hit the button on the money printer machine and then just screw us all over, that we all gonna be sitting here in like the next 1 or 2 years, like the gas prices, looking at the grocery prices, looking at all these other prices, like what the hell happened? Like, hey man, that government layoff, bro, they had to hit the button on the money printer machine and, you know, they went ahead and paid for it. So, you know, whatever they do that, there's a ripple effect. You ain't gonna feel it today, but give it about 6 months, about 2 years, and then again, boy, you gonna feel that pain. That pain gonna hurt, boy. It's gonna be brutal. So yeah. On another note, so we've talked about what's going on in the West. So let's slide on over to the East. Let's go ahead and hop on over to the East side of the world. The East side of Trump's favorite place called China. Yes, Trump's favorite place is China. We're going to look at what's going on in the China economy to see how they're living over there. And China is a communist party. They are outspoken about their communism, so they do communist things over there on that side of the world. And we're going to take a look at what's going on in the economy of China to see if they're having any luck or doing any better. So we're going to take a look at that to see exactly what is going on. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump our first video up on the screen for this particular topic and see exactly if China is so economically strong and advanced. Why do so many Chinese still immigrate abroad? So here we go.
It's a Reddit question, right? And you see it pop up on like every single thread about how China's got advanced robots or Palm Pay for WeChat, and et cetera, et cetera. Here's the truth. China is extremely large society. So even if China as a macroeconomic engine becomes very technologically advanced, by far has the most skyscrapers in the world, the fastest trains in the world, the most advanced payment QR code, palm scan, read biometric readers in the world, it doesn't mean that moving to America is still not a really great option for a lot of the population. Like a few 100 million people out of, let's just say out of 1.5 billion people in China, 400 million want out. That's still a lot.
Yeah. So I think America is a place where is super competitive, right? And Chinese are willing to compete to the core, right? Not as much safety net as China. Tax rate for China, I think, is like 45%. I have to look that up again, but it's like higher than America. And yeah, I think the Chinese are willing to go and grind their teeth, or whatever the saying is, and just like bootstrap their way up in America, because the pay in America is still way higher than if you're like an AI engineer in China.
Yeah, and I think you have more freedom from like a lot of like parental pressures and stuff like that. People may disagree with the system that they have, and like obviously they're like, to your point, they're not coming to these other countries that they want to immigrate to not be successful. They want to go and have businesses and have their kids go to the best schools and everything.
Yeah, the best schools are still in America right now. If you look at the rankings, research papers, prestige, everything like that, right? And it is the truth, right? Like, I'm not trying to say that like I'm pro-America. It's just the truth.
Yeah, I also think one of the most underrated things is Chinese are sick of competing against other Chinese. Other Chinese are so locked in on money and achievement and academics, it just crunches the whole grade curve.
Yeah.
Like you can't, like, if everybody's on that level, if everybody's Michael Jordan, Kobe, like psychotic levels of competition, it makes it too competitive.
That's why Americans want to come to Thailand. It's an easier market for at least dating, and at least for like starting business. The arbitrage is there, right?
Yeah. It's almost like anywhere on earth is almost less competitive than China, and I could see India as well. That's why all the Indians want out.
Yeah. And also, I would say that
I think more Indians want out than Chinese want out, though. I think China has a lot more, to be honest, livable cities than India does.
Yeah, I looked it up. Chinese is like PPP is still better than America. Like, the wages are more proportional to the cost of living than America.
Yeah, it all comes down to personal positioning. Like, even post-COVID, America had like a K-shaped recovery where some people did really good after COVID that knew complicated financial instruments, and a lot of people's net worth went like way down.
Well, that's actually a very good point there. So, I mean, hey, shout out to them for pointing this out, because that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a hell of a lot of sense. Especially speaking on parenting, from which if you know any kids that are Asian or whatnot, they'll tell you about the parenting that they deal with. And, everybody knows it. Like, it's almost like a common joke, like like Asian parents are like strict on their kids for school and education. And imagine living in a country with 1.4 billion people who share that same upbringing and concept of ideology of education and business and money. Then that would be a very hard economy to live in. And then in your head, and then on top of that, the pay isn't as good. Then like you look over at America and you see oh, these fat unhealthy Americans, and they're complaining about that, and they just know that if I can just get over there, I can thrive over there, because they not used to the competition that we deal with over here. So they come over here and they just crush it, which that makes perfect sense. I would make the move too if I was them. I mean, it's like a no-brainer. You know what I mean? It's like, you just come over here and just kill it, because these people ain't doing as good as us. I mean, they're not as competitive as we are. So they just like, we'll just go over there and just and then plus they take advantage of some of the benefits that they know how to get as far as foreigners coming into America and different things like that, and just know how to play the game and just come over here and just just like handle it and crush it and kill it while they're here and do their thing. So that makes perfect sense, the way he explained it. So shout out to him for that one. That was a good explanation. And I didn't know India had that same scenario too, where they just like, yeah. So now, but I tell you what, that H-1B visa probably put a halt to all that stuff. You know, the H-1B visa, I think it might have put a halt to that. I think, I'm not sure. I'm kind of curious on how big of an implication that has had as far as like the first year round, whenever you have to renew the H-1B visas, if how many people are going to get let go, if a lot of people have been getting let go for the H-1B since Trump signed that new rule into existence. So we'll see. We'll see. And if a lot of them will still want to, if they're still able to come over here. So that's going to be a thing within itself. So I don't know. We'll see how that plays out in the future. But now we have another guy who's going to explain. He's going to explain the economic problems in China and how things are going. And he's going to give it to you from his lens, which I've actually covered some of the stuff he's going to talk about. But I'm going to let him say it himself to hear another perspective. So we've heard those two guys' perspectives. Now we're going to check out this guy's perspectives and see what he thinks and see what he says about it. So let's go ahead and check this out. So here we go.
Okay, so in another video I did mention that China's economy was in trouble. Yes, they are, but I feel like it's going to get worse, and I'll tell you why. So China is currently experiencing a housing market problem, similar to what the United States experienced back in 2008, 2010, but not quite to that level. And all the economic experts will say that that's what it is. It's a housing market problem, or that it's stagnant consumer spending. But there's a bigger problem looming on the horizon. It is estimated that within the next 50 years or so, that China's population, or rather close to 50% of their population, will be much, much older, as in percentage of their population that will be over the age of 60. That means China's population is getting older, and that means less of a workforce. A declining workforce in China is going to have major economic repercussions for that country, and it will have a trickle-down effect to the rest of the world's economy. Because as you know, China's economy is dependent on other countries, and other countries' economies are based largely on China. So although they may be experiencing economic problems right now, I think they've got bigger problems yet to come.
That's interesting because they are a hub for manufacturing and stuff like that. So if the population, a large population of people who manufacture stuff kind of go away and China's not able to produce the manufacturing that they do and give out cheap prices, that's going to have a reverberating effect all across, the land. And he said in 50 years, he said, I think he said in 50, did he say 50 years? A lot of people are going to be, let me see what he said.
Other countries' economies are based largely on China. And it will have a trickle-down effect to the rest.
Hold on, let me find it real quick.
A declining workforce in China is a percentage of their population that will be population.
Here we go. I found it. Let me just double check what he said.
It is estimated that within the next 50 years or so, that China's population, or rather close to 50% of their population, will be much, much older.
So 50 years, so 2075, a lot of the population will be over 50% of the population will be over 50 years old or over 60 years old. So therefore, yeah, that's gonna have. I think it's gonna have a huge hit on the manufacturing. Which then I would say within the next 50 years, all of this stuff makes sense because to me, looking at it like that, this just makes more of a reason to tap into AI and bring robots in because you're like, well, hey, if that's gonna happen, then we're gonna just take care of all that with data centers and AI bots. We need to get that right there is like, we need to get this into place within the next 20 or 30 years. You need to get this rolling now so we'll be ahead of the curve when 50 years come and we have to deal with the situation. So to me, this just spells out more of a recipe to get AI up and rolling and, get AI rolling on the ball and getting it, going because it's like, you don't want to deal with that. And you already see the writing on the wall. So it's like, and you already know that we already know that they're trying to put robots and stuff out there like that. And, South Korea is big. Was it South Korea or North Korea? One of the Korea places are already leading the charge when it comes to robots and AI. So I wouldn't put it too far to have China lead the charge and be behind them, not just, just because of the competitive nature of the two. You know what I mean? So we'll see how that goes. But shout out to those two guys for giving us some insight on China. That was nice. That was really good. Now, speaking on China, we're going to look at some China news for sure. We have to look at what's going on in China. This news that we're going to look at is relatively like not even a day old. We're going to look at the China in Focus news channel and see exactly what's been going on, because they've been having some protests flare up. They've been having a whole lot of stuff going on, and we're going to look at their strangling that's going on with the economy that's staggering and going off. So we're going to take a look at a few things that's going on in China to see how their economy is faring compared to ours, and just to see if they're having a okay time. So with that being said, let me turn this up to make sure that we got good volume, and let's take a look at this scenario of China's economy.
Welcome to China in Focus. I'm Tiffany Meyer. Our top story: throwing pots at police, blocking highways, protests are spreading across China as dissent boiling under Beijing's iron grip. We zoom in on the growing unrest. This October 1st marks 76 years of the Chinese Communist Party's tyranny in China. Chinese people around the globe are calling for an end to the party's rule. What's Golden Week, China's National Day holiday, like this year? Where does China's economy stand overall? An expert weighs in.
And the Chinese economy is basically stagnant.
And the empty seat left by a...
I mean, that's not the expert I was expecting to be talking about China.
Disappeared.
I mean, when they say experts, I wasn't expecting this guy, not at all. I was like, wait a minute, where's the Chinese expert? Why do we get this guy as a freaking expert? Like, bro, who the hell are you? Like, really? This is the expert they gonna give us for Chinese economy, bro? Like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Like, seriously? Like, you can't even take care of your health. Come on, fam. Like, what's good? Like, how come the expert is not of the country? You know, like, not in the country. Like, how come the expert is not you would think the expert would be from China. That's what I would say. Well, maybe he is from China. You know what I mean? I could be wrong. I don't want to be ignorant. He could be from China. But just saying, like, why him? Why him? Anyway, let's continue. This is crazy.
He's basically stagnant.
And the empty seat left by a disappeared Chinese diplomat now filled by a spy official. A closer look at a possible shift in Beijing's diplomatic approach. A new Chinese coffee house in Manhattan fueling a protest over U.S. national security concerns. Our reporter spoke with protesters outside the Luckin coffee shop.
All right, cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump straight to different topics. I don't want to watch all of these. So what I am going to watch is we're going to watch a little bit of the protest. Then we're going to jump into looking at China's macroeconomy and how it's staggering. We're going to look at the expert to see what the expert's talking about. Then we're going to look at that coffee. That coffee thing actually is something that we have to look into. So we're going to check that out as well. So we're going to go over a few of these things and see exactly what's going on. And also, let's see, the U.S. agrees to let South Korea work on short-term visas. All right, so we're going to see. So we're going to start off with the protest. Then we're going to go to the expert. Then we're going to look at the coffee. And then we're going to just dip out of here and go on to the next one. So here we go.
Traffic and even throwing pots at police officers. Protests erupted across China in the days leading up to Wednesday's anniversary, marking 76 years since the Chinese Communist Party took over. Beijing has been holding events each year to mark the day. In China's southwestern Yunnan province, dozens of street vendors clashed with urban law enforcement and police last Saturday. Vendors threw pots and stools during the confrontation. The clash broke out after local urban law enforcement officers suspended their stalls and asked for extra fees. The vendors refused, saying they had faced eviction before, even after paying what was required. For many vendors, their stall is the family's only income.
Authorities could have asked what our demands are, but they didn't. They just came to evict us. We have to make a living. My kid has to go to school.
When vendors refused to leave, tensions boiled over, leading to clashes with the officers trying to evict them. After one vendor was beaten, others started throwing objects from their booths at the police. Several vendors were reportedly hurt and arrested. Authorities also took some food carts. Similar protests are happening across the country. In central Henan province, street vendors blocked traffic last Thursday to protest the closing of their night market. They want compensation from local authorities. In southern Guangxi province, villagers surrounded police after officers arrested a man defending their rights. The villagers were protesting against a company trying to take their forest land for mining. The crowd left only after police released the man. Up north in Hebei province, residents blocked.
Hey, all right, good job. Now, did they release the man because y'all surrounded them, or did they release the man because they were done doing their job? So I'm kind of curious on that one. I mean, that sounds pretty interesting. But as we can see, the government is doing the same thing that governments do across, everything. They just have a different way of doing it. But the government is still, got their foot on their people's neck. Plus, China's a communist country, so you can expect their foot to be like extra on their neck. But I still would say the similarities are still the same. You still got the government versus the people, the government versus its citizens, you know what I mean? And that's always the same concept that plays out, is what it seems like in every country. At the end of the day, we always can see that this same scenario plays out. The government versus its citizens, you know what I mean? The citizens want the government to do what they want them to do as far as in their benefit, but the government's like, screw your benefits, we gonna do what lines up our pockets. So it seems like China's going through the same thing as well.
Blocked roads for 2 days outside the local administrative office to protest the demolition of their homes. Their houses were torn down for urban development 7 years ago, but the residents say they still haven't received new housing or compensation to help with the move. Also in Hebei, construction workers blocked a highway toll booth to demand payment. They helped build the highway, but say they haven't been paid a cent.
Wow.
We put sweat.
They helped build a highway but haven't been paid a cent. Bruh, that is brutal. Wow. How you build a whole highway and they didn't pay you a cent? That's brutal, bro. Oh my goodness. The Chinese Communist Party, boy. They like, hey, build this here. We gonna pay y'all. And then when they got done building it, they was like, hey.
FYM. Fuck y'all motherfuckers,
I mean, that's really what they said. That's crazy work.
And tears into this, but you
paid a cent.
We put sweat and tears into this, but you didn't pay us after finishing the job. What are you doing?
Local media covered the new highway opening but left out the protest. And further north, in China's Inner Mongolia region, about 200 small business owners protested for 4 days outside the local administrative office against higher heating bills. They clashed briefly with police. After the protest, officials canceled the price hike. As the Chinese Communist Party marks 76 years of rule, Chinese people in the U.S. and worldwide are protesting its brutal tyranny. Let's hear their stories and what they are standing up for. NTD's Flora Hua has the report.
This is the U.S. capital, Washington, D.C. Chinese pro-democracy activists across America gathered to tell the world October 1st is not their national day, but a day of mourning for all of China. During times of peace, tens of millions of Chinese people have died under the CCP's tyranny. From the violent political campaigns and the Great Famine to the Tiananmen Massacre and the COVID-19 pandemic, these Chinese protesters marched in front of the Chinese embassy, Capitol Hill, and the White House. Younger generations also took part in the anti-CCP movement, raising awareness of the Chinese regime's tactics.
On one hand, the CCP maintains authoritarian rule through repression. On the other hand, it uses united front tactics to deceive and divide us.
Moving north to Canada, Taiwanese, Hong Kongers, Tibetans, Uyghurs, and people from different backgrounds also held anti-CCP demonstrations in front of the Chinese consulate.
CCP lies, people die!
Falun Gong, a spiritual discipline originated in China, has been persecuted by the CCP for over 25 years. International rights groups report that the regime even steals organs from imprisoned practitioners for huge profits.
The CC.
To be quite honest, they problems sound the same as the problems we have over here in the West. It's slightly different, but similar. Like they have the same. They sound like they have similar issues that we have. It's pretty interesting when you look at it, and then you hear like the people up here start talking, but when you hear the people down here start talking, it's like we are more alike than we are different. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, it's crazy when you look at it. I mean, shout out to the internet for being able to, put this out there and, we able to see it if we choose to see it. But it's interesting when you look at it.
CCP trades in live organs and continuously imprisons dissidents who oppose it. This, among other actions, represents the greatest harm that totalitarianism has inflicted on our present generation of human civilization.
Chinese people in Germany and the Netherlands are also calling for an end to the tyranny of the Chinese Communist Party. Flora Hua, NTD News.
Golden Week, China's National Day holiday. It used to be the big travel and spending season before the pandemic. So what's it like this year, and where does China's economy stand overall? We spoke with Christopher Balding for his take. He was a professor at Peking University's HSBC School of Business.
Okay, I don't want to hear nothing from this guy because he's like literally the guy who I did not expect to give any insight on China's, whatchamacallit, economics. He's the expert they pointed out. So I'm pretty sure they paid him nice money. We can get rid of him. We're gonna do one more story on this. It's gonna be the Chinese coffee house and the U.S. national security. I want to see what this is about. I think this is gonna be interesting. The Chinese coffee house and what's going on. So I think this is something to pay attention to. Let's pay attention.
A Chinese coffee chain is sparking national security concerns in the U.S. Protesters gathered Tuesday in front of a Luckin Coffee location in Manhattan. NTD's Sean Marshall has more on their concerns.
Luckin Coffee, a Chinese coffee chain, is what some refer to as the new Starbucks, is now opening locations in the United States after having surpassed Starbucks in China. A protest organized by Bold Action for Freedom, a non-profit organization, was held on September 30th right in front of one of Luckin Coffee's Manhattan locations to warn the public of possible data security problems. A requirement of Luckin Coffee is that you have to download the app to make an order.
This communist China.
Oh, wow. You have to download the app to make an order, bruh. So they said no cash. We only want digital payments. Oh, boy. So we saw recently, I did a stream about the the UK or Europe doing a digital ID because of the immigration. But then now look what happens when they're able to implement such things. And now they opened up a business. In order for you to even order anything from their business, you have to download the app. There's the only way you can get business from them. You can't even you can't walk in the store to place an order. So therefore, there's going to be no workers inside the store at some point. Maybe not now, but at some point. But you have to download the app just to place it. That's crazy work, boy. Think about that. That's a big deal.
Coffee chain is required per Communist China laws to share any data with the Communist government in China.
Once they have backdoor access, they can steal sensitive information like passwords, financial data, health information, personal chats, intellectual property. They can also gain control over your device to install additional malware that runs commands remotely.
Tony Zelinsky is president of Bold Action for Freedom and is spreading the word about CCP risks in the American technology and manufacturing industry.
And they could even, with a hidden backdoor, install malware where the device could be caused to malfunction. And so right now, that's not evident to people that are downloading it. But if we have issues with Communist China down the road, they have this in their back pocket that they can use if that's the direction that they're going.
In 2020, China's Ministry of Industry and Information Technology reported Luckin Coffee to have infringed on user rights and illegally collected personal information.
Hey, he's got a point. And Americans love them some Starbucks. So what better way to low-key infiltrate a country or society than to sell them something that they love, but only allow them to purchase from you via a downloaded app, and you can get all the information from all of its citizens or anybody who downloads the app. You can get all the information and use that as that's pooey.
And in 2024, Shanghai authorities summoned representatives of Luckin Coffee over what they said was the illicit collection of consumer personal information.
Why does China want our data? Why are they so interested in collecting our data? And the first reason is that it's very profitable and it increases their power. Communist China, has pilfered trillions of dollars of intellectual property from multinational corporations, trillions of dollars. Now, so there's a lot of value in gleaning data, from people and corporations.
Getting the word out about the CCP's human rights abuses, Salih Hudayar has undergone extreme harassment.
Outside of these circumstances, we've faced extensive transnational repression, harassment. I've had Chinese individuals, stalking me, stalking my house, taking photos. I don't know who shot up my house, but one day they sent, I guess someone came and shot our windows out.
Representatives of the Tibetan Youth Congress also spoke out to the public about CCP technology and colonial boarding schools.
So if they have your information, they'll know where you live and they can, do stuff like they did. That's crazy.
Groups are taking steps to educate the public's understanding of the potential risks that they're undertaking by downloading an app monitored by the Chinese Communist Party. Sean Marshall, NTD News.
Man, you gotta be careful messing with them boys, man. They don't play fair over there on that side. I think the same thing go for TikTok too. If they got your TikTok, then they can just kind of like get all your information. But shout out to them for that information and informing us of what's going on in the West and in the East. So there you go. There's that. All right. So be careful, man. When you're dealing with China's products, I guess, and especially if you can only order from the company via downloading the app, and they don't take no cash payments, which cash is slowly but surely going away. Yeah, that's the thing. They can just hack and steal all your data and do what they want with it and know how to find you and come get you if you say or do something. I don't know, man. It's a crazy tactic to have in your back pocket. Then they can sell it to anybody they want to. Like, that's crazy work right there. That's crazy work. That's a good way to get a lot of people's data, put your business out there, and then make people order your business from an app and then just collect everybody's data from all their cell phones and IP addresses. Man. So then who's the real enemy here? You know what I mean? You got to ask yourself that question. It's like, are the customers a enemy to the business, or is the business an enemy to the customers? Like, what's going on? You got to ask yourself that question sometimes. But anyway, that's going to be it for the economy portion of the show. Shout out to that one. That was a good one. We're going to go ahead and dive into the final segment of the show. I don't have much time. It's going to be the AI segment of the show. So let's not waste too much time. Let me change this banner and we're going to dive right into it because I got to get through it real quickly. And we are going to get right into it. So let's bring our sexy lady in to get us into the AI segment of the show. So here we go.
Welcome to the AI segment of the show.
Man. She's looking rather tasty, I might say. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, anyway. So we're going to dive into this segment of the show. In this segment of the show, we're going to talk about AI and Cern. Bruh, you really don't want to hear those two words in the same sentence. AI and Cern. Like, you don't want to hear that in the same sentence whatsoever. But unfortunately, we are. And we're going to have to look and see what's going on about AI and Cern. If you don't know what Cern is basically like this big old ginormous huge thing. I think it's in Switzerland or something, where they just doing some lab stuff, and they're basically trying to make this like large a Hadron Collider where they basically playing with matter and density and things of that nature, and they shouldn't be, but they are. And in my personal opinion, I think they're doing some Howard the Duck type stuff where they're trying to open up a portal to bring a bunch of demons in. But, that's just me talking. I could be kind of going far-fetched. But you can't put it past nobody in today's world. But I'm going to kind of show you how these things could possibly be a possibility. Starting off with Cern recently cooped with AI. AI actually implied a message to humans, letting humans know like they shouldn't be doing a certain thing that they're doing, but the humans did it anyway. Humans being humans, of course. So we're gonna look at it and we're going to see why AI Cern begged them to stop the collision in seconds after everything changed. So we're going to watch this video that's going to explain the situation of AI in the AI in Cern speaking and telling them like, hey, don't do what you're about to do. But we're going to see if they did what they did, and we're going to see what the situation is that it may have caused. And then later on at the very end of the video, or the very end of the show, I might add, I'm going to show you a video from an old movie called Howard the Duck that has a very striking similar image to Cern, and see what Cern does and see if we can put 2 and 2 together, if these things make sense. All right. So with that being said, let me go ahead and rewind this video real quick, and we're going to dive right into this one right. Oh my God, another ad. We're going to dive right into this one right now and take a look and see why AI, Cern's AI, is trying to stop these fools from doing what they're doing. But, you know, when you got an agenda and you got stuff you got to do, you know, by any means necessary, you know what I mean? Like the AI is like, hey, buddy, don't push that button. And the people working for Cern is like, hey, you.
FYM. Fuck y'all motherfuckers, you know?
You know, it's basically what it's saying in a nutshell. But let's go ahead and get this video started, all right? Here we go. Let's let her talk. Here we go. Where is it at?
Largest and most complex machine mankind has ever created.
What happens when science pushes beyond its limits? At Cern, the largest experiment in history collided not just particles, but something far stranger. An AI issued a warning. It was ignored. Then came a silence that defied physics. This is the story of the day the machine spoke back. The collider and the warning. Beneath the serene countryside of Switzerland, something colossal hums in silence. A buried titan stretching 16.8 miles in a perfect ring, hidden from the world above. This is the Large Hadron Collider, the most powerful machine ever built by human hands. But on one particular day, its mission would reach beyond science, beyond theory, and brush against the unknown. The experiment was meant to be historic. After months of calibration, 2 previously undocumented particle signatures had emerged. Unstable, exotic, unlike anything recorded before. They weren't just anomalies. They were questions written in the language of the universe, and Cern intended to answer them the only way it knew how. By smashing them together at nearly light speed. Everything was green-lit, beam integrity perfect. Magnetic field alignment, flawless. Cooling systems are stable. The final pre-collision checklist was nearly complete when something unexpected happened. Something that had never happened before. Prometheus interrupted. Prometheus was the facility's internal AI, a silent overseer designed to model outcomes, optimize performance, and flag danger long before it appeared. It was not built to speak unless queried. It had never spoken unprompted. Until now. Suddenly, every monitor in the control room flickered to red. Operators froze. No charts, diagnostics, just a single line of text centered across all displays. Collision outcome exceeds threshold. 99.9% probability of reality state violation. Abort immediately. Confusion followed. Engineers scrambled to trace a fault. Physicists questioned the terminology. Reality state violation? It wasn't a known phrase in theoretical physics. Prometheus had coined it on its own. It was a term born not from a textbook, but from somewhere inside the machine's evolving understanding of consequence. The room is split. Some believed the warning. Others dismissed it. A system error, a corrupted simulation. After all, Prometheus was an algorithm, not a physicist.
Yeah, but the Prometheus had a specific duty, and his duty was to tell you 316. Okay, let's go back real quick and let's see what Prometheus' duties were.
It had never spoken unprompted until now. Suddenly, every monitor in the
hold on
comes something stable. The final flawless integrity, nearly light speed. Expected happened.
Okay, so here we go. We're gonna look at what Prometheus' duties are. It has certain duties, and it's never spoken before until now. Let's listen to its specific duties that it has.
Something that had never happened before. Prometheus interrupted. Prometheus was the facility's internal AI.
Internal AI.
Silent overseer designed to model outcomes.
Model outcomes.
Optimize performance.
Optimize performance.
And flag danger long before it appeared.
There it is. It did what it was supposed to do and flag dangers long before it. So therefore it wasn't an error. It actually did what it was supposed to do. It's programmed in its software to do exactly that. And it did just that. And these fools basically was like, it's an error. Better yet, it's
FYM. Fuck y'all motherfuckers, you know?
It was like, nah, that thing is just talking out of his neck. Hey, somebody hit the button and tell that thing to shut up, bitch. Hey, let's continue what we're supposed to be doing. Yeah, they just ignoring the signs. Anyway, let's continue.
Not a physicist. It couldn't possibly grasp the implications of its own calculations, they argued. And with years of work on the line, no one wanted to be the one to pull the plug. The decision came fast. Override the AI. Proceed. Prometheus shut down. The countdown began. The atmosphere shifted. Jokes stopped. Smiles faded. All eyes locked on the screens. The machine they had built to warn them had done exactly that. And they had silenced it. The collision struck like a hammer in the dark. A force hotter than the center of the sun erupted within the ring. Subatomic particles shattered. Magnetic fields are bent. For a fraction of a second, the LHC was the most violent place in the known universe. And then, silence. For exactly 27 microseconds, every detector in the collider went dark. Not a flicker. Total, perfect, impossible silence. In particle physics, even a vacuum hums. There is always background radiation, always noise, always something. But this was nothing. When the sensors returned, the data was incomplete, corrupted, fragmented. And Prometheus did not reboot, not right away. Only one thing remained in its final logged process. Not a simulation, prediction, but a memory. The AI hadn't warned them about a possible future. It had remembered a collision that hadn't happened yet. Something had broken through in that silence. Something that changed the rules, not just of the experiment, but of reality itself. Unnatural silent void. The countdown reached 0, and the collision began. In an instant, trillions of protons were supposed to smash together, their fragments painting detectors with the usual chaos. Particle showers, radiation bursts, decay trails zigzagging like fireworks across the monitors. The control room had seen it all before. They expected noise, light, and patterns written in the mathematics of energy. Instead, what appeared was nothing. For exactly 27 microseconds, every detector across the Large Hadron Collider went dark. Not a staggered drop in signals, not a delayed flicker as one subsystem failed after another, but a perfectly synchronized blackout. From one end of the 16.8-mile ring to the other, silence consumed the machine. Silence in particle physics is unnatural. Even in the vacuum of space, background radiation whispers constantly. Cosmic rays pepper detectors, particles decay, static noise fills in the gaps. But here, in the most violent experiment on Earth, the universe itself seemed to hold its breath. Technicians scrambled to check for a malfunction. Power supplies were steady. Cooling systems had not faltered. Magnetic fields remained locked. Every diagnostic screen confirmed the same unsettling truth. Nothing had broken. The collider had performed flawlessly, yet produced a void where there should have been a storm. The silence was not an error in the data. The silence was the data. Then the room shifted again. As the monitors flickered back to life, something stirred deep in the system. Prometheus, the AI that only minutes earlier had begged them to abort, rebooted without a command. No human keyed it back on. It reawakened on its own. At first, the scientists expected routine diagnostics, integrity checks, calibration reports, the usual lines of code scrolling across the screens. But instead, Prometheus began compiling something unexpected, something structured. It wasn't collision graphs. It wasn't a reconstruction of particle trails. What appeared was a data packet, fully formed, threaded into the system as though it had slipped past every firewall in the exact moment of blackout. The source was untraceable. It hadn't come from sensors or satellites. It had come from the void. The decoding sequence was automatic. Line by line, the packet unraveled until, finally, an image appeared on every screen. Not a number, not an equation, a symbol. It was perfectly symmetrical, geometric in a way that suggested intention rather than chance. The ratios were too exact to be dismissed as noise, yet its design carried a style that felt archaic, almost ancient. For a long moment, no one spoke. The scientists stared at it, unable to classify it, yet struck with the same eerie sensation. It didn't just look foreign, it felt remembered. The message from nowhere. The symbol was only the beginning. As Prometheus processed deeper layers of the packet, it began unlocking instructions hidden within the geometry itself. What emerged wasn't theory, it was a blueprint. Not for any particle known to science, but for something that violated the foundations of physics. According to the encoded equations, this wasn't matter that could decay or transform. It was matter that could vanish. No radiation, no remnants, not even quantum echoes. Just erased. Suddenly, the silence made sense. If even a microscopic version of this particle had formed, it wouldn't show up as noise. It would cancel out everything around it. The blackout wasn't an error. It was the particle's footprint, the mark of something that deletes reality. But the most chilling detail came at the end of the packet. Buried in its checksum was a phrase. Not gibberish, not machine code. Something eerily close to the AI's own words before the collision. Persistent instability event. Localized decay pattern may result in cascading vacuum breach. This was...
I think if you're not using Nivan...
This ain't looking too good. They're playing with the wrong stuff and they about to catch wreck. And they literally programmed a computer software to do what it's supposed to do. It did what it's supposed to do and they silenced it. So now you're going to suffer the consequences and repercussions. But let's continue this. We don't have much time left.
It wasn't even warning. It was a containment notice. Whoever or whatever sent this had already known what Cern would unleash. And in the silence, they left behind a blueprint that might not just answer questions about the universe, but end it. Forbidden Phantom Warnings. The name didn't appear on any official map. Maritime charts skipped over it. Satellite imaging returned static. But sailors had been whispering about it for centuries. Phantom Isle, a landmass in the South Pacific that seemed to appear and disappear with no pattern. Old naval records from as far back as the 1600s described a mountainous island that would rise from the fog only to vanish by the next tide. Compasses spun in its presence. Equipment failed. Entire vessels went missing. The accounts were inconsistent, except for one detail: the monoliths. Rising from the black volcanic stone at the island's center were towering vertical slabs, some reaching nearly 100 feet into the sky. Ancient, weathered, unmarked by time, but not by intention. Carvings covered their faces, strange geometric etchings that no culture on record could claim. For decades, the few photographs that survived were dismissed as hoaxes or...
Hold on, did y'all see that?
For decades, the few photographs that survived
Why does it look like horn, eye, like a Baphomet head? What's going on here? I know I ain't the only one that saw that. Why like a Baphomet head? I know I ain't tripping. This look like a demon face right here with a horn, eye, nose, mouth, the side of a demon face. This ain't looking too shabby.
Were dismissed as hoaxes or misidentifications. The site had been largely forgotten until now, because one of those carvings, previously thought to be meaningless decoration, matched exactly the symbol decoded by Prometheus from the collider's data packet. Same angles, same symmetry, same ratio spacing. Not just similar, identical down to the mathematical precision. That level of accuracy across thousands of years was statistically impossible.
All right, so I'm not going to go over the whole video because I don't have much time to go through all of this for sure, but I'm going to let this next video that I have that has a few, scientists and Neil deGrasse Tyson and a few other people in it. We're going to look at this one. This is the forbidden truth about AI and Cern and technology, the origin. And we're going to listen to some of this and see what they got to say. So as we saw that they're over there playing with this thing, and this thing has already given them a warning not to do what it does. And they did it anyway. And then now it's kind of like it's doing stuff on its own. And already gave back a signal or a symbol or whatever it was. So they're playing with something they should be playing with. But let's sit here and see what they have to say about the forbidden truth about AI and Cern and see what these scientists have to say. Let me change that banner, which I forgot to do on the last one. So here we go. Let's let this video roll. I ain't got much time.
Original intelligence versus artificial intelligence. On a daily basis, we're hearing how the transhuman is going to be possible quicker, faster, and sooner than anyone expected. Singularity is knocking at the door. And as singularity is knocking at the door, a very big showdown is going to take place between original intelligence and artificial intelligence. For you see, Satan is not omnipresent. Satan is not omnipresent. This is why transhumanism is so important to him. This is why artificial intelligence is so important to him. He is a counterfeit. He's trying to be like the Most High. He wants to infiltrate our mind. This is why it's crucial for you to take thoughts captive, because every day technologies are arriving at reading your mind. Technologies are arriving at deceiving your mind. And with transhumanism, once he fully causes man to be tempted to merge with the machine, to become one with the machine, and he has his counterfeit Holy Spirit and artificial intelligence, you begin to see that the same lie in the garden is being repeated again and again and again.
Sometimes around here we just report the news, we run right through it, and you kind of need to realize what we're learning. And I'm going to show you exactly what we mean by this, but researchers are accurately performing some human mind reading. They can translate a person's brain activity into a continuous stream of text. So then that text corresponds to what the researchers can determine people are thinking.
You see, in the beginning, there was original intelligence. It wasn't coded in Silicon Valley. It wasn't born in machines or algorithms. It was God himself who breathed life into man. In Genesis 2:7, we see, "And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul." But then came the first counterfeit. You see, in Genesis 3, we see that the serpent offered a different kind of knowledge. A knowledge that looked beautiful, appealing, powerful. But this knowledge was not from God. This was artificial intelligence. Notice what he told Eve. Your eyes will be opened and you will be like God. Is that not the same core deception that artificial intelligence? You will become like God. That's the core of artificial intelligence, not just machines, but man's ancient desire to become godlike without God.
Uploading memories, recording dreams. We can, quote, do all of the above.
This is no longer science fiction. You go to the physics laboratories and you can see how images can be extracted from the human brain. How it's possible now that we can upload memories in animals and record memories from animals because physics can now probe thoughts as they go ricocheting through the brain.
Is what you're describing the same thing as consciousness? Because if that's the case, then we can say it's not just our thoughts that live forever, it's our very identity, our self, our conscious self that lives forever.
Well, there is a theory that says the soul. The soul is information. It's a vast amount of information, but nonetheless, it's information that can be put into holographic form, such that even if you pass away, something there survives.
But theoretically, that is.
Don't let these fools fool you. I did a stream on this yesterday called The Rapture Part 2. Go watch that. Be careful, because all he's talking about is you learn in the DNA structure that there's a code from God in your DNA. It's a double helix. And you learn the number that is on your DNA code, which is 772,000 on both sides, on each side of the double helix, which then those numbers turn into 144,000, which if you're familiar with that number in the Bible is very significant. But then what they're trying to do is turn that into a triple helix. If you add one more a helix to that, it turns into a triple helix, which then turns that number to 216,000, right? Now, in the Bible, it speaks on the number of the beast, and the number of the beast is 600, 3 scores, and 6, and each score is 20. So you get your number 600, 60, and 6. If you multiply those three numbers, you get 216,000, which in turn is they're trying to turn your double helix DNA from 144,000 to 216,000 when you add it all up correctly. So watch him, because then he's trying to sit here and say that you're going to live, you could live forever, your conscience could live forever, but at the end of the day, if you change your DNA coding from a double helix, which is God's code, God's signature, to a triple helix, then you no longer have God inside of you. You know, you probably will have eternal life, but your eternal life will be an eternal life with Satan and not the eternal life with God. And that's what they're trying to trick you into doing by making it sound nice and cool. But and she over here smiling, but I think he might crack it. It might be able to call the BS that this old Mr. Miyagi dude is talking, because this dude is basically the way he's talking, you can tell he's Satanist. You just got to watch him, because if you watch that video, a guy named Rudolph Steiner, who spoke on how they're going to basically disconnect you from God by using medicine and vaccines. He also mentioned that, you're going to be more materialistic like whenever your coding of your DNA gets pulled away, because they want to erase spirituality from you, and they want to keep you in materialism. They want to get rid of the spiritual connectedness that you have, because it's connected through birth, and they're trying to rewrite the God code. It's in a technology that they're referring to. Speaking of the technology, let me read to you the technology that they have right here. Boom. I'm glad I got it right now. Here's a technology. This is called Gene Hackers. This is from November 8th, 2015. It's a certain kind of technology that they have that is capable of preventing retroviruses like HIV from infecting human cells, which sounds good. It sounds all cool and all when you look at what they're able to do, and their their technology seems really good, because it tampers with your DNA, and it's basically going to make you, immune to diseases of certain things, of viruses and HIV and sickle cell and all these things. And it seems cool, but you're tampering with DNA, and your DNA is already coded with God's code in there. But if you go down here and listen to what I'm about to read you. The technology has also made it possible to study complicated illnesses in an entirely new way. A few well-known disorders, such as Huntington's disease, sickle cell anemia, are caused by defects in a single gene. But most devastating illnesses among them are diabetes, autism, Alzheimer's, and cancer are almost always the result of constantly shifting dynamics that can include hundreds of genes. The best way to understand these connections has been to test them in animal models, a process of trial and error that can take years. CRISPR promises to make that process easier, more accurate, and exponentially faster. So they're trying to cure these diseases and these illnesses and ailments by making it seem like, oh, we have treated you but we can edit your DNA and we have treated you. But remember, it's a treatment, it's not a cure. And if the treatment is to where they can treat you of not having any diseases, remember the Bible does tell you that people are going to flee and hope and pray for death, but death is going to flee them. This is what they're tampering with. So if you go down a little further, and it writes this: inevitably, if I said that word, the technology will also permit scientists to correct genetic flaws in human embryos. Any such change, though, would infiltrate the entire genome and eventually be passed down to children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and every subsequent generation. That raises the possibility, more realistically than ever before, that scientists will be able to rewrite the fundamental code of life with consequences for future generations we may never be able to anticipate. Vague fears of a dystopian world full of manufactured humans long ago became a standard part of any debate about scientific progress. So these fools, be careful. They know what they're doing. They're playing God, but they're trying to genetically modify. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. Oh, I read it to you. They're trying to genetically modify your DNA code, your gening, and they're trying to pull your 144,000 DNA double helix gene code to a 216,000, making it a triple helix, which, like I said, if you add the number, like it said in the Bible, 600 times 60 times 6 gives you 216,000, which is the same thing that they're trying to change your DNA code to, which then will leave you here hell on earth with Satan forever, because then you won't be a part of the 144,000 that the Lamb takes up, because then he won't know you. You understand? But let's let these fools keep talking. I ain't got much time.
Is effectively immortality.
Is survives.
But theoretically, that is effectively immortality. Once you reach that point, that is you living forever.
If you just integrate.
Did you hear that? He caught it. He says, what you're doing is immortality. You live forever. Exactly. That gives you, because remember, God says that you will die as a mere mortal, just like kings and other rulers. You will. That's a part of God's structure. They're like, nah, we can do away with God's structure. You can live forever. But remember, when you read the book of Revelations, it got some crazy, grimy stuff that it talks about it in the book of Revelations, where you hear all these crazy beasts and all these crazy creatures come out. And it's like almost not too far. It's almost like impossible to believe. It's like, really, you're gonna have like scorpions stinging people and stuff like that. These half man, half scorpions stinging you and all that stuff. But if you have immortality and you live forever, but you can get HIV, sickle cell, that's how they trick you into wanting to get it. But if you can't die and have immortality, then it makes sense. People will want death, but death will flee them. So they will be forever in hell. They're being tricked into being put in hell through all this technology. But let's continue.
Once you reach that point, that is you living forever.
If you just integrate over our entire life, it's remembering the good times.
Sure. What are we but our memories? And what is death but the loss of memory? Loss of information.
So if we can store them as accurately as possible, we basically achieve a kind of immortality.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that one day we would be able to download our human brain capacity into a Optimus?
It is possible, I think, to do that. It is possible.
Which would be a different way of eternal life, because we would also download our personalities into a body.
It's how the enemy tempts societies. Whether you look at Genesis 6, when the Nephilim, the offspring of the fallen, corrupted mankind with forbidden knowledge, judgment followed. Or whether you look at the Israelites who built up a golden calf, a god they could see, touch, and control. At Babel, the Tower of Babel, what did humanity say? Let us build us a tower to the heavens and make a name for ourselves. Artificial intelligence as we know it in 2025 is nothing new under the sun. You see, back then in the Tower of Babel, And in those cultures and civilizations, they weren't just building towers. They weren't just building golden calves. They were building replacements for God. And you can look throughout different civilizations and cultures, from Egypt to Mesopotamia, to the Greek to the Aztec temples. Mankind is continuously rebelling against God and worshiping the created thing instead of the creator. And why does it continue to happen? Why does the deception of artificial intelligence continue to deceive the nations? Control. You see, created gods don't ask for repentance. You can shape them, mold them, control them, just like in the golden calf. You can make whatever you want and you never have to change. Pride. You have to understand that pride is a killer. It feeds the lie that we are creators, that we are it. We're the last Coca-Cola in the desert. It's all about pride. It's all about me. It's all about you. We start worshiping the created thing instead of the creator. Fear. Trusting an invisible, holy God requires faith. Trusting a statue or a system to many people feels easier. But at the end of the day, God did not give us a spirit of fear. And not only has He allowed us to experience that peace that surpasses all understanding, but when you have faith in Him, you feel His power, you feel His mercy, you feel Him. He is real, He is tangible. Fear lies to you and tells you so many things to deceive you. And ultimately, it keeps on happening because of the same deception. Satan uses the same old tricks. Genesis 3, did God really say? But how as a church will we know the response of that if we're not in our word? If we're not fasting, if we're not praying, if we're not living for Jesus? Look at the track record. In the garden, sure, Eve was deceived and they fell, but God's grace still overcame and won. In the pre-flood world, look at the track record. Fallen angels, Nephilims, judgment came. God raised up Noah, built that ark, deliverance happened, victory once again.
Hey, that's a pretty cool image of how they do Noah and the Nephilim. That's actually pretty live.
On the side of original intelligence, the Tower of Babel, they thought to themselves that nothing could stop them. The track record is proven continuously. And in Revelation 18:4, it tells you, come out of her, my people. What happened in the garden, what happened in the pre-flood world, what happened with the golden calf, what happened with the Tower of Babel, what happened when Jesus Christ said it is finished, is that God is undefeated. And original intelligence, once again. Oh, when this showdown begins to happen, you're going to see something spectacular, beautiful, and awesome. And that's the power of God on full display. God is good. And whether you look at the Nazca lines in Peru, where you can clearly see fallen angel activity coming in the form of these ancient beings tempting humanity, or you fast forward through history to 2025, the tools change, the mechanisms change, the temptation remains. Mankind has built.
You see that? Cern opening up a portal for you to come through, for the demons and monsters to come through.
Machines. Then they built computers, and now it's artificial intelligence. Man has gotten to the point that they've made something that can mimic our voice, our thoughts, our creativity, and once again, as in prior civilizations, we're tempted to worship it. Do you not notice that people today trust AI more than they trust each other? Do you not notice that most people trust AI more than they trust the Bible? Do you not notice that people back in the day at the very least used to have more of an attention span? No longer do we go to the Comforter. The scriptures clearly tells us that the Holy Spirit will teach us and guide us into all.
Okay, he's not really. He's just talking at this point. But right here, where he showed this right here. So we're talking about this right here, and we're also talking about this right here, this Cern of an object. So we're watching this video on Cern, and watching this right here on Cern. So I'm going to leave you here with this. This is the last video we're going to watch. Hopefully they don't give me a copyright for this. That's why it's going to be the last thing I put. So in case I got to delete this part out, then I could delete this part out, and then the video would just end right here. as opposed to you see me play this whole thing through. So we're going to play this right here. So this is Howard the Duck, 1986 movie. And this basically was a, we didn't know it at the time, or they didn't know at the time. I wasn't born yet. But you're going to see basically Howard the Duck is going to basically fight a fight, but you're going to see that the thing that is shooting into the sky is like a smaller version of Cern, where they're trying to open up a portal to let things like this in to come after humans. And if you look into the Bible, they speak of some crazy evil type monsters in the book of Revelations on how they're going to come on that show up on the earth and that hurt and harm and attempt to kill people, but they can't die. People can't die. Death is fleed from them. Why? Because of this immortality that they spoke of here in the very beginning of this video. Remember, they were talking and they were having this conversation right here. And this dude was talking about, you know, being immortal, but then this dude caught it. This dude right here caught it. He was like, wait a minute. If you do what you do, it's going to basically give you immortality. Yeah, it will give you immortality. But the question is, immortality for who? To basically not experience the second death, or the second death is of you not dying, but forever being, you know, in pain, or like hell. But like, I guess hell, we think of fire, but then again, it could just be, you know, you just constantly getting your ass kicked by monsters. But anyway, right here, we're going to watch Howard the Duck, and it's going to basically show you what it looks like if they try to open up Cern. They were showing this way back then, but we didn't understand it back then. But now you can almost see full circle that, like always, movies always try to tell you something. So here we go. Last thing of the show. Here we go.
I was just resting.
Good boy, stay back, stay back. Oh boy.
Sequence.
He's gonna bring down more of them!
You may fire when ready. 4 minutes to arrival.
Anybody! Help!
3 minutes, 30 seconds to arrival.
Power! Here! Alright. Slice salami! Lose something!
Alien specimens will arrive in laboratory in 3 minutes.
is, but
2 minutes to arrival.
Belt. Button. Trigger.
One minute, 30 seconds to arrival.
Yeah.
1 minute to arrival.
There's more coming down.
as you can see right there, that would be the image of Cern shooting in, opening up a portal, and there's more of them things coming down, as they said right here. Cern portal, you see? You see? Howard was trying to show us.
The machine, Howard, you gotta destroy it! Blast it! Get him!
No, Howard, don't. We'll never get home.
30 seconds to arrival.
Get him!
Well, anyway, as you get the point, he gets them, you know, they do the all lovey-dovey thing. You know, stupid lady has to say something about him going home. He says, screw home. He does the right thing, gets a little Gatling gun right here, shoots the thing, destroys it. The demons don't come down. As we'll show you, this is what the demons look like coming down. Here we go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Arrival.
And he destroys the Cern thing. Now, real quick, as I don't have much time, I want to show you something really fast. If you pay attention to this little monster right here, all right, I got to do this quick. I got to do this very fast. So I pull my handsome self up on the screen. We're going to do this very, 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 very fast. All right, let's see. Revelations. Scorpion type beast. All right, these rumors of beasts indicate. All right, so the book really describes scorpion-like beasts in chapter verse 9. They're emotionally beasts, the fifth trumpet possessing. Okay, here we go. So, here we go. I do this really, 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 really fast. Come on, give me the thing so I can speak on this. What is this? Beasts verses 9 through 3 and 11. Okay, KJV. Gateway. Let's see. You said through. All right, so here we go. All right, so real quick, gotta pull this up for you. I gotta hurry up. I gotta do this quickly. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna zoom in so you can see this. This is Book Revelation, chapter 9, I believe. Yes, verses, whatever we're gonna go to. Let's see. And it shows in the hair they had breastplates and iron. They had tails. Okay, so cool. We're gonna read this. And they had breastplates as if they were breastplates of iron, and the sound of their. Oh wait, you can't see it. There we go, right there. And they had breastplates as it were the breastplates of iron, and the sound of their wings as the sound of chariots, and many horses running to battle. And they had tails like unto scorpions, and their stings in their tails, and their power was to hurt men 5 months. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit. His name in Hebrew, his tongue is Abaddon, but in Greek the tongue hath his name is Apollyon. Okay, so he said like he had tails like unto scorpions. Well, if you look at this dude here, look at him. Built just like that with a tail of a scorpion. Isn't that crazy? They put it right there in the thing for him, and look what he did. He shot them with his sting. Look. And they didn't die. Did you ever notice that? They were just in pain. They ain't die. You see?
30 seconds to arrival.
See, look. See how he's shaped? Like, look, tail of a scorpion. He just shot them with the thing. He didn't hurt them. They didn't die. What was his job to do? And his power was to hurt men for 5 months. That's all he did was hurt them. He didn't kill them, because as soon as he died, they came back. But of course, that's how the movie goes. Okay? So just understand that everything is in plain sight. They're telling you right there. It ain't nothing new under the sun. All right? Okay. Alrighty. Well, let me go ahead and put my handsome stuff back up on the screen, man. That is it for today's show. I got to get up out of here. Hopefully you learned something today. Hopefully I was able to teach you something. With that being said, I can't waste no more time. I got to get up out of here. Thank y'all for tuning in. Enjoy my sexy lady on the way out the door as I see y'all tomorrow on the next DLA Fitness live stream show. Take care. Love you. Peace.
Thank you for watching D. Elliott Fitness live stream. Goodbye.
I'd rather be in the studio than in jail or on the street. Talking the wrong, feeling off your teeth. Got that one hit to quit and knock you off your feet. It's big on, baby, I'm obsolete. Pockets chunky like cottage cheese. Real nigga, I just gotta be. Smoking weed that don't gotta see. Used to be a hustler prodigy. I love when people say they proud of me. I'm eating good, smoking broccoli. Taking over blocks like Monopoly. Only fuck the ones that's my policy. Most of these hoes trying to cause a scene. Like niggas mad they not on the team. See, I got bread, then buy the dream. The game on like and I got the keys like Jay. My fame won't stop, but the only thing I'm chasing. The game on like and I got the keys like Jay. Ain't wait no nigga in the booth, playing beats. The game on like and I got the keys like Jay. My fame won't stop, but the only thing I'm chasing. The game on like and I got the keys like Jay. Ain't wait no nigga in the booth, playing beats. Counting cash and smoking green, can me blow a cloud like a smoke machine. The bitch on my dick, she got no to see. Bumblebee ass, yeah, I know it's thing. I'll plug your bitch like a 6-string. Joining with the bitches, got 6 rings. Smoke till my bitch a split screen. The rest with pain pills and sipping lane. Riding dirty, but I'm extra clean. Lyrics nice, but I'm extra mean. All-star, heavyweight like Wolverine. The bitch line say she over me. I flip money like Clover G. Gang hustle like CIP. It's all baby like D.I.G. Acronym like KRT. The game on lock, and I got the keys like Jay-Z. My fame won't stop, but the only thing I'm chasing. The game on lock, and I got the keys like Jay-Z. Ain't wait no nigga in the booth, playing beats. The game on lock, and I got the keys like Jay-Z. My fame won't stop, but the only thing I'm chasing. The game on lock, and I got the keys like Jay-Z. Ain't wait no nigga in the booth, playing beats. In the beats like RP, no hard shit where your artery. Cutting up, who sharpens me? Rolling up accordingly. Pulling hoes, no sorcery. Rapping like y'all forcing me. If I ain't right, then it's forgery. Nigga selling to the rock like a Flores beat. Lyrical monster on the Lord of Beats. Text nigga, my bitch Georgia Peach. Pip tight nigga, I do more than cheat. Cold like D-Wade, I ignore the heat. Bitch, I'm on way, hit the short for reach. Money jumping like the nigga on my sneeze. Come to Bad James, get me on the beat. Bitch, I'm always winning like what's the fee? The game on lock, and I